Hey y'all, it's your girl who swirls, KsC from Beyond Black and White, and thank you for joining me for this very special. Oh my goodness! Wait, I gotta take this ad off because I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I mean, I have to say though, that ad is so annoying. It just comes on all the time. It's like that, whatever that is, that ad that comes up. It's like,
Right.
okay, whatever. I don't even know what it is, but it comes up all the time. It's so annoying. So let's start this again. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday night's Google Hangout. I promise you, we're just gonna call it Cocktails with Chris because I do have my wine, and it is still summer. It's still officially summer, so I'm going to toast to my die-hard Beyond Black and White crew. You guys have been amazing this week, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but this is for you. And just so you guys know, yes, I do have my wine, but I also have my water. And you guys, I got to just say something too. Oh, let me just make sure. Breukelen Bleu is on the line. Breukelen, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. What's good, everyone? This is Breukelen.
Girl, we already have 142 viewers.
We just got
on. We just got on. We do have a lot to talk about. And I want you guys to get a piece of paper and a pencil out because you do not want to miss the knowledge that me and Breukelen are going to share with you. But before I start, the theme of this program, the theme of this hangout is Black Girl Tears. So I got a shirt. Black Girl Tears. I'm owning it. And this is my way of owning it. And when I did the promo for this, I started to look at your comments, and they really touched me because I felt like this was right on time. So before I go in to talk about my experiences, I just want to say, like, a couple of you guys were talking about how you feel like you can't express yourself. You feel like you can't cry. You cry silently in the shower. You cry on your pillow. And it's a shameful experience for you. And that's a unique thing. And it's unique, I think, a lot of ways to Black women. Because a lot of times we are told to be strong, don't cry. Often when we cry, we are mocked. We're made fun of. We're seen as weak and vulnerable and sometimes an easy target. So we have to sort of put that shell up. But that hurt that we feel does not go away. So what happens is that it expresses itself in other ways, right? So maybe you eat too much. Maybe you get angry. You're quick to anger. Maybe you you fight. I mean, I swear, I think half the women, maybe more than half the women on World Star Hip Hop, if they were just allowed to cry, they wouldn't be beating each other's asses. Blue, what do you think?
Listen, as Dark Wisdom woman, I already know what's going on. And so I know that when energy is not allowed to express itself in one way, it gets transmuted into something else. Mm-hmm. So when you're and when you are not in control of that transmutation process, that alchemization, you're not doing it purposefully, then you will have situations like what we see where it can literally change the whole character of a person. It can make them unlike what they would probably normally be like. It can make them more aggressive. It can make them more depressive. There's so many ways in which when a person is not allowed to express their emotions in a healthy manner, how it can be turned into something else. We see this a lot with men, where men are not allowed to give them permission to express sadness or hurt or pain because it's supposed to be not manly. So then what does it get registered as anger? That's the one emotion that they're allowed to transmute. And so we're no different. Black women are human beings, and we're going to respond to the human condition the same way any other human being would. So if you deny us our humanity by denying us our rights to our own damn emotions and make us feel like we're crazy or we're weak or there's something wrong with us because we respond to things that external stimuli the same way other human beings do. If you make us feel like something is wrong with us, then of course you're going to get dysfunction and you're going to get pathology and you're going to get a whole lot of problems.
Absolutely. And it comes out in so many ways. Like, we are the strong Black woman. We don't cry. And because we don't cry, when we are in distress, people don't come to our aid the way that other women of other races do. When a woman cries, where she's expressing this vulnerability, that just innately, when you cry, you are expressing a vulnerability. And it is a form, it can be a form of communication, and it's a form of release. And we are social creatures. And so crying is also a survival technique, a survival tactic. And so when, the woman is in distress, then we're social creatures. We come to see, what the problem is, try to resolve the problem and see if we can work with her to make it better. And it does not go that way in the Black community. The feelings are stuffed down so much that people don't just mock. Sometimes they get angry. Like, they get downright angry if they see a Black girl crying. I mean, we've seen those videos where some 16-year-old girl is getting a mess beaten out of her by her mama or her uncle or whatever. She starts to cry and says, "Don't you cry, don't you cry." I mean, it's just the roughness. There is no softness. There is no soft place. And it's so hard as a woman, as a Black woman, when there is no soft place. And so all of you guys know that I was I was in a vulnerable moment where I cried. And all of the things that we're talking about now, the mocking, the anger, the shock that I would show a human emotion, that's the shaming that keeps people from expressing who they are, but that shame gets transmuted in other ways. And so while I was talking to Blue, because I remember I told you in that kill shot video, if you guys want to see it, I'll put the link in later, where Breukelen literally picked me up off the floor. Like, you guys, she is the real deal. She's the real deal. I love her. I love her. I would, like Angel says, I'd walk through fire for her. I would do anything for her. She picked me up off the floor, and she told me a lot of different things. And we want to share with you some of the things that we talked about. And some of them are really big secrets that I haven't shared with anybody, that I'm about to share with you guys right now. Like, you guys are the first ones who are going to hear this. But before we do, I want to say now, I'm about to go in the chat room and I'm going to put some links in. Of Breuklen's PayPal and my PayPal. And the reason why I'm doing it is this. I'm seeing a whole lot of people giving money for people's legal defense funds, movies that never come to be, giving people money to bash, a certain group of people, funding this, that, and the other awful thing. And it's not just the men, it's the women. We're throwing our money at all this. Breukelen and I, we are trying to do something. We are trying to elevate. Not only are we trying to elevate, but we are trying to we are laying ourselves bare. I mean, I am laying myself bare so I can be of service and help to you. So I will just say this. I'm going to put those PayPal links in this chat room every once in a while. And if y'all feel the spirit coming on you to help us to continue to do what we're doing, we would love it if you would just pass that collection plate. Pass it down. Pass it.
Yeah, because we about to go to church up in here.
Now, Breukelen, tell me real quick. Now, when it comes to giving money, let's just diverge for just a second, because we talked about this a little bit. Because it's crazy what we see people raising money for. I mean, is it not?
No, it's insane, and it's really ridiculous. You know, the Black Americans spend $1 trillion annually in the United States in this system. Yet we claim we have no money. And the truth is we have money. We just spend money on what we want and then beg for what we need. And you can tell a group, you can tell any demographic of people, you can tell whether they are about what they say they're about by where they put their money. Listen, money is money is, they call it currency for a reason. The same way electricity runs on a current, money runs on a current. And so when you are a human being living in society, money is what the currency is, the current that allows you to live or to not live, to live well or to barely survive. And so what you get to see the core values of people by where they spend their money. And so when you look at Black people, you see where we spend our money, what is most important to us. And this is why we are 100% consumers and 0% producers. And so you look at what, even online, it's people say, well, social media is not real life. Oh, absolutely not. Social media is representative of exactly what's going on out in the world. And when you look at what's going on YouTube, you see where people, or Black people, are willing to put their money. And it's very clear about why the Black race looks the way it does. We got money going to doctors with no doctorates for schools that are never built. We got money going to the CEO of the He-Man Black Women Haters Club, just so that he can continue to hate Black women. You got money going. I mean,
it's not a little bit of money.
No, lots, hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
This man raised $100,000 for a movie that never was. He raised $60,000 for a legal battle that never happened. I mean, folks are just, it's just amazing to me what people are willing to give their money to. But when it comes to something productive, when it comes to something where this can elevate, because here we are, like, we are about to change the game. Breukelen and I are seriously about to change the game in that the He-Man Woman Haters Club on YouTube is not going to be the only the YouTube long enough, and it's time for the grown folks to take over. It's time for us to reclaim and tell our own story. So what I have done is I have put because I tried to put it in the chat room. I tried to put in the links, but YouTube ain't having that. So I put our PayPal links in the description box. So they're both live. Breukelen Blue's PayPal is up there. Beyond Black and White's PayPal there. If you feel the spirit come upon you, if you are blessed by anything we have to say, we would love for you to help support us. And right now, there are 313 people watching right now. If the 315 people watching right now, if 315 people gave me, gave Beyond Black and White $1, gave Breukelen Blues Work $1, we could, all of that counts. All of that helps. So, I'm just putting that out there. Now, without further ado, you guys, I'm about to share something with you that is not easy for me. This is very hard. Go ahead.
Let me set this up, ladies.
All right. I'm going to give it to you.
I want everyone to be clear that I was the one who suggested that Crystalline tell this very private story to everyone, because what I realized is, I have been around for a couple of years, and so I have seen your growth process. I've seen your journey. I've seen, the good and the bad times. I've seen the support. I've seen the breakups. I've seen all of that, and I've seen the comments that express concern about you and some of the things that people were saying that kind of called into question your credibility and kind of just seemed to feel very suspicious of your motivations and as to whether or not you you were really representing what you say you were representing. And I've seen those questions. There have been moments when I too have asked, okay, what's going on with Crystal? Particularly before, you know, I had my own platform. So it's been a couple of years, but so I know what people have been thinking and why there has been, aside from the obvious haters who just don't want to see Black women win, even those Black women who kind of might have wanted to like you or might have wanted to support, or maybe they did at some point, and then at some point over time withdrew support. And some of the reasons that they have presented, I think, are very much tied to what we're getting ready to talk about now. And I thought it was very important for you to kind of dig deep and kind of, since we're talking about being vulnerable and creating safe spaces to be vulnerable as Black women, I thought that we could, in the sanctity of this space that you and I have created, give voice to what has been going on with you, and maybe bridge the gaps. I think the reason why, ladies, I wanted her, and I had to convince her a little bit, because this is not something that people, you know, we all have our own private, you know, fears and past pains, and we don't always want them exposed on the world or in a public sphere. But I did tell Crystalline that of all the time for her to be expressive and vulnerable, this is the time. This is the time. And the reason why is because it will do several things. One, it will explain some things that people just didn't understand about you. Two, it contextualizes you, your platform, your message, and the journey that people have seen you take. And three, it will shine a light on some bigger issues that we as Black women face, and we'll kind of use your experience as a case study. Because, ladies, the thing that you have to learn to do is not get so caught up in the personal. It's very easy for us to get caught up in the personal of this person, that person. I don't like her, or what, you know, as soon as you hear a name, you feel emotionally triggered. You got to come out of that. This is dark wisdom. Step back and look at it all as a case study. Neutralize the different personalities and look at what the larger picture is showing you. And so I thought that you guys and all of Black women, womanhood who was willing to listen, would benefit from you being vulnerable in this time, in this space. And you're being vulnerable this time on your terms, as opposed to being triggered by people who just really want to hurt you and don't want to see Black women win. So I have to thank you for being willing to do this in a public venue, because this is not easy to say. And I think once we get to talking about it, a lot of our listeners are going to be able to relate. So, okay, ladies, so you guys know that I'm working with Crystalline. Crystalline has learned some very big life lessons in the past couple of weeks, very publicly. And I think in the end, this will probably be the best thing that has ever happened to her. But as I said in our last hangout, you know, the process of gaining wisdom is not a pretty one. And so while you're taking the licks and taking the hits, it don't necessarily feel like the best thing that's happening to you. But, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years later, when you look back, you can kind of chuckle and say, wow, you know, I needed that.
Yes, definitely.
So when you and I have been working together, we've been talking privately and kind of just hashing out, fleshing out all of this stuff. And so, you know, we were talking, and I was trying to express to you what I believe is the reason why some Black women, because we really do not care about the haters, ladies. We don't care about them. But why some Black women have a kind of a love-hate relationship with you. And I was expressing some of their concerns and where I think it's coming from. So, ladies, this is what was the exchange was like. I was speaking to Crystalline, and I said, listen, I think some of your audience has a hard time relating to what they feel is you're trying to almost, people have said, you're trying to be a white woman, right? By being so emotional and always kind of taking, like, you know, being so light that it almost doesn't seem real for a Black woman, right? Like workerish, like light and love, light and feminine. And I was saying to you, I can see where they could feel that way at times, where it seems like maybe you're trying too hard, or you just spend a lot of time addressing haters, you spend a lot of time kind of fending, trying to prove yourself. So we were going back and forth about that. And I said to you, Crystalline, why is it that you feel like you have to spend so much time proving yourself? I said, your message has taken a turn and at times where it seems like you spend more time trying to justify yourself to people who really don't want to see you win, than you do actually standing in the power of your womanhood, right? And so we talked about it, and then you shared something with me, and you said, put this in the vault, please, because it's very personal. I've never really shared it with anybody, but I'm going to tell you why. And so, ladies, I asked Crystalline, why is it that at times she can come across as playing the victim? Because I'm just going to throw out the things people have said, Crystal. Yep. You're playing the victim, that you want to be a white girl. You're trying to cry white girl tears, which is why we are now talking about black girl tears, which actually exist. Yes. That you trying to set up a scenario where it seems like the white man saved you, where you are hating black men, where all of these different things that you're trying to force interracial relationships on women who are not interested. You're trying to force. I love that T-shirt. You're trying to force. And your tatas look real good too. I love that. Hold up, that's so cute. That you're trying to force black women to date unsuitable white males, men who are too old, men are too this. And so I've listened to all of this, and I said, I think there's a disconnect here, and it's something that's going on with you that maybe you haven't shared, and people are picking up on that, and that is what it's registering as you being disingenuous, or you being sneaky, or you not really telling the truth, or you're trying too hard. And so you said to me, I'm going to tell you something I haven't really talked about in years, and this is probably at the root of what you're asking. And so, what did you tell me, Crystalline?
Okay. You guys, I'm about to share something that's really, really hard for me. Really hard. And you guys are asking me where you can get the shirt. I'm also just going to put that really quick in the description box, so that if you guys want to, we got a couple of different types if you want to, get it. It also, if your purchase also helps support the site. So thank you. All right. So, okay. I have a really, 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 I have a need to, when I hear people saying things about me that are not true, it is very, very, it's an impulse for me to say, no, you got it wrong. That's not who I am. And so, there's been, let me just go back. There's a reason why that is. And I think that the ladies here may be able to relate to this. And this goes back to high school, and really, Blue I didn't really think about how it tied in until I was crying to Breukelen, and I said, when I was going through my situation and I was crying and she was picking me off the floor, and I was like, this hasn't been this bad since I was in high school. And everybody found out that I, sucked Lauren's dick. And so let me back up a little bit. So I was about 15 years old, and we were at a ditch party. I know you guys know all about those, those ditch parties where, the school is let out early, and the parents aren't home from work yet. Somebody's got an empty house, and everybody comes over for some weak wink, tongue cheek thing. And so I was in the 9th or 10th grade, and, still a virgin, still, but everybody, like, there were 3 guys in the high school that everybody liked. One of them was Lauren. And I look back and I'm like, why? Because he had like greasy Jerry curl hair and like pimples and shit all over. I don't know why, but it's like everybody, how it was like everybody likes him, whatever. And so he invited me over to the ditch party that was a girlfriend who I thought was a girlfriend of mine. And I was so like, oh my God, he likes me, you know, thinking, okay, all right, we're gonna, you know, just talk. I mean, I was just totally just, you know, I was just wanting to get to know him. You know, I'm totally like just innocent, again, virgin, all this other stuff. So, I'm at the party. We talk for a little bit. We start making out, and he wants to take it all the way, meaning that he wants to, you know, have sex. And I'm like, no. You know, I'm a virgin, and I don't want to do that. And he was like, you know, you can't leave me hanging. You see how I'm like this? And he was like doing a whole "I'm mad at you" thing. You know what I mean? And so he was like, well, at least do this. You know, at least, you know, give me oral sex or whatever. And I was like, okay, all right, just so I could, you know, so I wanted to keep my virginity. I wanted to keep my, you know, that part intact. And so I was like, okay, you know, I'd never done it before. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like, all right, whatever. And so after it was over, I told the girl who was hosting the ditch party what happened. And within 2 days, and I said, you know what, I did this. I didn't want to, you know, give up my virginity. I wanted to, you know, preserve that. And, you know, this is what I did. Okay, hold on a second. I have to block Keith, you guys. Hold on. Block user. Okay, Keith is gone. Okay. And, so I go to school, and then everybody in the school, I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen to you, but everybody in the school found out about it. Everybody knew. And it wasn't just, oh, she did this thing. It was that she did this thing, but then it was, Crystalline is a slut, and you know, people were coming out of the woodwork and was like, I slept with her, and yeah, she's a hoe. And it was so, you guys don't even understand, it was not true. I was still a virgin, but these people lied on me so much, and I can't even tell you how hard it was going to school every day and hearing what people were saying about me and feeling so betrayed and feeling the need to, like, I am a good girl. I didn't do those things. These people are lying on me. I spent the remaining 3 years trying to prove to people that I was not this person that they were making me out to be. And I didn't realize how deeply that scarred me. Like, and so I'm in this platform where I want to help women. It is my life's work. I feel like this is something that God wants me to do and God has put on my heart to do. And I'm not perfect. I always make mistakes. I'm a very sensitive person. The events that happened during these couple weeks just triggered, because it was just all these people lying on me. And it was like the truth was out there. The truth was just right there. But nobody wanted to hear it. It was just like, you lying, you know, just making up lies. And then it was like 50, 75, 100 videos mocking me. People saying they wish I would die, saying I was evil, saying I was the Antichrist. And it just brought me back to that place. It brought me back to that place, you guys, where I made a decision because I wanted somebody to like me. And then to have people just turn on you, and it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. they just gonna keep lying on you. And no matter what you say, they just twist it. So what you saw was just this in my head of what happened and just feeling responsible for that and really not wanting to be responsible for somebody, some other evil person to hurt you, because it is my life's work. I love Black women. I want to see you thrive. I don't think I'm better than you. I love you. And this hurt me so much. And it triggered me so much. And so I'm sharing this with you because y'all need to understand like how deep it was for me. And this is not a game for me. This isn't just, doing stuff for clicks. This is a real thing. And so thank you. I feel like this is a safe place. I see you guys in the chat room giving me love, and I appreciate that because I feel like I'm in a safe place to do that. So thank you guys. Oh, okay. Breukelen, I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Okay, so yeah. So y'all can see that, this made Crystalline very upset as it did the first time when she told it to me. She was like upset like this when we talked about it. And ladies, like I said, although I know everybody's feeling real, you feel sympathy. If you have a heart, you feel sympathy for Crystalline. But think about this. What we really should be feeling when I look at her is empathy. Because as Black women, what Crystalline experience and what she represents is what Black womanhood represents. And so we're going to talk about this now. We're going to talk about the shame of Black womanhood. Because ladies, we experience so much shame just in being Black and female. And it starts so little from when we're young that we already kind of got a default baseline level of shame. And then when you pile on through the experiences that we have growing up in the Black community, being very unprotected and being seen as prey within our own community, you're going to have it even more. So when Crystalline divulged this to me, then it made a lot of sense, ladies. And so I'm going to try to contextualize. And this is me, Breukelen, just contextualizing what I feel has been going on with Crystalline, right? And this is even bigger than what has happened in the last couple of weeks. It's really, it explains some things in her entire brand and her persona and what you saw, and maybe will help you understand why maybe you felt that maybe you felt suspicion at times about her. So this is what happens, ladies. That sexual shame. As Black women, there's some very specific there's very specific types of shame that Black women experience in general. The top one being sexual shame. And we see this a lot. We see this, we saw this in these World Star videos that go viral, 3 and 4 million, 5 million people talking about it, where a Black girl gets caught with a boy and her mother or her father or whoever beats the brakes off of her and videotapes it and then puts out there calling her a whore and a skank and a slut, and you want to act like a hoe, I'm gonna treat you like a hoe. And if you ever go to the comment section and look at the things that Black people are saying when they see this happening to a young Black woman, a girl, you will understand why Crystalline gets so upset. Because we are so happy. One sister referred to it a couple of years as bloodlust. There's a bloodlust.
Absolutely.
That we're happy to see young Black females, young, all the way up into womanhood, being shamed sexually. And so, we're taught, when we hear it, we grow up hearing about the fast behind girl that lives up the street and, all of that kind of stuff. And so we're burdened with that. One of the other forms of shame that we live with as Black women is the shame of poverty and class, the shame associated with your socioeconomic level, growing up in the hood, and all that comes with that. Not necessarily being the best educated, not necessarily being able to speak in the best manner. We saw this with the girl who was on the phone with Trayvon Martin, and when they put her on the stand. The girl had a speech impediment, and she was nervous and she was scared, and the Black community dragged that poor girl through the fucking mud because she didn't speak the Queen's English. And so we see this kind of poverty and class-related shame that Black women experience. Another experience that we have is the shame that we experience. And of course, we're not allowed to talk about this, ladies, because we're supposed to act like we don't care, but the rejection and abandonment that we feel from Black males. And it happens in so many ways. It's either the dismissal of our image, where every time we look up, we see lightness and whiteness being heralded over our image. We see that seems to be what they chase after, what they fawn over. And then when we look at the icons, those who have made certain levels of success as Black males within the Black community, and we look to see who's on their arm, and they almost never look like us. So we have the shame of our own men rejecting us and abandoning us. And then the last one that we experience, and this also, we're going to talk about this too as it relates to you and I, Crystalline, is the shame of out of wedlock motherhood. Yes. And we all know that this thing that's going on, it is a complete campaign going on right now against the Black single mother. And ladies, anybody who follows my platform knows that I've had some stern words for us as Black single mothers, and I have called to task our decision making and asked us to get honest and tell the truth about some of what's going on. But I did not do so from a place of a lack of compassion. I did so from a place of wanting us to get honest so that we can start to heal and make different choices. That is not what's going on in the Black community. The shame, and it is a lynch mob. Same thing, a bloodlust lynch mob, gladiator-like. When you think about the Roman days.
Wait, Breukelen, I want to just say, because people in the comments are having testimonies. Somebody said, I understand the shame. I was molested growing up. My grandfather, molested me. People are saying, this happened to me. I was molested. Right now, I'm just feeling like there's a cleansing going on. Even for me to be able to share this with you and bring this out in such a safe place. This is something that is going to be, we are going to start owning our tears. We are going to start, we are entitled to our feelings, and we're entitled to our tears. And we just have to learn how to be able to create safe spaces with a circle of support, which is what I forged when I was going through my crisis that helped me get through. Now, Breukelen, I'll just bring it back to you. I just wanted to say that because I wanted to let you guys know that I see you, I hear you in the comment section.
Yes, thank you for saying that. And it's true. I'm seeing the comments too. And see, this is why we got to tell our own stories. And y'all know that I have my Tell Our Own Story series that I have on YouTube, because we have to stop letting everybody else speak for us, ladies. And here is the deal. So I'm gonna contextualize what I think has been going on with you just in general, and why people may have felt a certain way. And I want to contextualize what I think as a life coach and just as a dark wisdom woman, how this has affected you overall. One of the things that people have said about you is that they feel like you're phony, that that you're not realistic, that you're trying to sell Black women a dream that's not possible for most Black women. And so you and I were talking about this, and I said, well, let's talk about this need to come across as very good and pure and very light and girly and innocent. And that is what brought us to this conversation about you coming clean about what had happened to you and how you've been, how that shame, ladies, that sexual shame is one of the worst kinds of shame because it is the most difficult to get rid of. And so you have been carrying that. And I suggested to you that this is what's been showing up in the middle of you trying to do all that you're trying to do, which is good for Black women, and your genuine and authentic message of just opening up your options and seeing the world as your oyster as a Black woman, that even in your desire to do all of that, there was still this shame creeping in. And that caused you to want to compensate. And so sometimes, ladies, what happens with us is when we have shame, then we compensate. And there's a lot of different ways in which we compensate. We can either become very aggressive and violent, which is what you see on World Star. You see it in the streets when you got these very, very violent, these ratchet, they love to call Black women names, the ratchet Black girl, the young Black woman, because this is her way of expressing or dealing with the shame that she feels. And ladies, remember, 60% of Black women experience rape, attempted rape, molestation, or incest, or some form of sexual violation before the age of 18. And ladies, we know the number is really higher. So the truth of it is, it's probably closer to 70-75% of us are experiencing some bullshit sexually, between birth and 18. And so the majority of us ladies are walking around with this sexual shame. And so what I believe, hypothesized what was going on with you, but that people were picking up on, Crystalline, was this need to compensate, to constantly prove yourself, to prove yourself innocent, to prove yourself worthy. No, I'm not this. I'm not saying I hate all Black men. No, I'm not saying my daughter's father is a thug. No, I'm not, giving the floor to haters just so that they can shit on Black womanhood. And that constant need to defend yourself, to prove yourself, and to kind of come across as this pure, innocent, light, feminine woman was registering to Black women as the desire to be a white woman, the promotion of white man as being the white knight, all of this kind of what they were thinking was fake and phoniness because you were just putting on an act, was really that shame kind of oozing through. And as much as you were trying to keep the focus on your ultimate message, we are all affected by these types of things.
Absolutely. We are all affected. We are all affected by our past traumas. And so in this situation, I get a lot of criticism. Like, I hate Black men. You never show the other side. You always elevate white men. You never show the other side. And so here's what, let me explain in a place where I feel safe. Breukelen, is it okay for me to explain?
Of course it is. You should get to tell what you were actually trying to do. Yes, you should.
Okay. So I always get that criticism. You're always trying to you're always deifying white men. You never show the other side. So when I invited that man to come on my show was because I had this, no, I'm not like that. No, I'm like that. See, I'm really a good girl. I really don't think that, and I'm going to prove it to you. And so it was just that, I saw this opportunity to say, I don't think that way. I don't think that that Black women should just be with any old, white guy. And to and to be civil. And then people were saying, you were so nice to him. You were so nice at racism. I was like, you know what? I'm an interviewer. I'm a journalist. I used to write for Reuters news service. You don't come at people crazy when you're trying to get information out of them. You come at them nice and sweet and give them that sense of security. So they say, and as we all saw, he revealed what he was trying to do because of that. But even people attacked that. And the thing was that I had him on a platform because I was giving into wanting again to prove that I am not, who people were saying that I am. And then when I did this, people attacked me still. I mean, it was like, it was just it was like, why would you have him on? Well, it's either you can't win. You see what I'm saying? Like, Black women, we got to have crystal balls and shit. We have to know what the future is all the time. We have to make choices that are 100% correct all the time, or we ain't shit. I mean, this is where we are. And then when we are vulnerable, you have people in the comment section and trolls, and you have people making videos and laughing at your pain. I mean, you guys understand this for a second. 75, 100 videos of people mocking and laughing at my pain. And going behind and putting money into the hands of a man who you say, he represents what you say you hate. But you're willing to stand behind a man you say you hate just because you hate me more. Now, that was totally shocking. Totally shocking.
Well, it shouldn't have been shocking because this has been a long-standing history within the Black community, within the Black race, and the relationship between the Black male and the Black female going back very, very far. And I talked about it ad nauseum. I did an event on it. I'm actually going to be doing another event on it soon, talking about this long-standing history of colluding with the enemies of Black people, colluding with the enemies of Black women and Black children, just out of hatred for Black women, just out of pure hatred, in some ways jealousy of the power of Black women. And this is our own sons, lady. And this we have such a difficult time accepting the truth of this, even though all the evidence is in front of us. And we want to scapegoat the white man or the Arab man or the yellow man, the purple man, the aliens, the Anukai, the Yakub. We want to scapegoat anybody rather than just looking at what's going on and seeing it for what it is. And so we don't want to accept the fact that this is a long-standing history of inviting the enemy in the gates and being willing to do business with them against your own people, against your own women. And the interesting thing is they're so quick to say that we're doing that. Oh, you took the white man's feminism. Oh, you took the white man's welfare wick. Ladies, that is a spin, that is revisionist history. And I'm going to address all of that very, very soon, coming with receipts, because you know how Breukelen Bleu does. But this notion of Black women always having to defend ourselves. And so here you are, first of your kind, doing the type of work that you're doing, which is very, it's a very controversial level of work. No other woman has come forward on the level that you have to tell Black women that in essence, it is okay to not limit yourself to Black men, the Black community, and just Black people's foolishness. And it is such a paradigm shaking idea. Now, of course, Black men have freed themselves from that obligation many, many moons ago. But as Black women, this is unheard of, at least in the United States. And so here you are putting yourself out there, and you are immediately subjected to all of on a very large scale, what the average everyday Black woman experiences on an everyday level. Any of us who have children out of wedlock, y'all know that I'm a single mother. I mean, it just goes without saying in the Black community. And it's getting to the point where you don't even have to be a single mother. If you're a Black woman who birthed a child by a Black man, you're a single mother. Whether you're married, divorced, widowed, it doesn't matter, because just like the thug thing, if they're using it to just kind of paint a brush to incriminate Black women, they're also using the bastard baby maker, single baby mama thing. So in essence, it's a hatred of the Black womb, which is what it's been all this time. Now they just feel justified in coming forward with it. And so you coming forward to do this work, already burdening this shame, this constant shame that we feel as Black women, and particularly sexual shame. And ladies, I remember I was one of the most, and my mama will tell you, I was one of the most insecure, adolescent, teenage, and young women you would ever meet. I may not have looked it on the outside, but I was, which is part of the reason why I went off and had a baby. But when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was so insecure. I wanted to fit in. I was awkward. I was gangly. I was tall. I had buck teeth. I wore glasses. I had a jerry curl. I was skinny. I had no tits, no ass, no nothing. And at 13, 14, 15 years old, it is natural for girls in particular, although boys experience this too, but for girls to expect, in particular, you got your hormones are raging, your body's changing, and your body physiologically is preparing you for adulthood and fertility and to continue the species. And this is kind of on a bioevolutionary level. And so you're going through all of these changes. And so one of the worst things that can happen to you during this time, when you are trying to solidify your identity as not only separate from your parents as an emerging adult, but also as an emerging woman, is for someone to attach sexual shame to you, particularly in a very public way. And we carry that, ladies, and everybody wants to know, why the fuck are we having all these children out of wedlock? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I would suggest that we start with some of the sexual shame that we are experiencing as young Black girls, as little girls, coming all the way up, and it's a manifestation of some of this dysfunction. Sexual shame that is created within the Black community, not the white man, not the old fae, not Yakub's children, the Black community, the source of the sexual shame that is at the root of a lot of the dysfunction of Black women. And so you, like the rest of us, experience that shit. And so even as you grew into womanhood, you still carried some of that with you. So now you put yourself in a public platform where you're trying to convey this message and do this work that you feel called to do, but you're human. And so you haven't, just because you've done so and you've done well and you secured a nice little life for yourself, don't mean that you don't still have shit. Everybody got shit. And it was oozing through. And I think in your effort to continue to prove yourself to be a good girl, to be innocent, to not be stained, to not be a black race hater, to not be a baby mama whore, to not be a white man worshiper, to not be, you felt this need to continuously prove yourself. And in that came some of the things that I think read to people as you being disingenuous, or you trying too hard, or you compensating. And so
Right.
I think that a larger lesson from all of this that we should be able to all relate to as Black women and girls that are listening to this and will listen to this later is that we all find coping mechanisms to deal with the dysfunctions that are born out of the Black community and this dysfunctional dynamic that we have, not only with Black males, but other Black females, because it was a Black girl that told everybody this shit about you in high school,
Yes,
right?
she did.
Once again, the sisterhood, not being there for each other, and planting the seeds of shame within each other, which is the same shit we do. We do it on our Facebook pages. We do it with each other. I've seen people do it to you. I've seen people try to do it to me, but it ain't happening. But this whole thing of shame, ladies, when you cut a sister some goddamn slack, think about all this shit. Yes, she's made some damn mistakes. I've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. But she has made herself, KsC has made herself vulnerable for the betterment of Black women in ways that 98% of us would never do. We don't even have real Facebook pages or YouTube pictures because we're trying to hide our identity, protect our, reputation. We don't want our jobs to find out about some of the things we think and say. We don't want to be trolled. We don't want to be doxxed because we're trying to stay safe. She was willing to risk some vulnerability and exposing her family to model to Black women what's possible for us. And we are so busy looking for cracks in the veneer, so busy looking for anything to pull apart. And it's like, damn. And then people wonder why I don't show my face and why I don't put my kid in the front line. Hell fucking no. I see what y'all do to her, and I know the type of shame that the Black community will unleash on any Black woman who tries to do something a little different. Get the fuck out of here. And so I have to pay homage to you, and you can't see me now, but I am gently bowing in homage to you, Breukelen Bleu, because you are willing to do something that up until this point, even your girl Breukelen Bleu was not willing to do. Because you are willing to put yourself out on the front lines to model, not just to talk about, to model what's possible for Black women if we just think a little differently. And instead of being grateful for that shit, all Black women can find time to do is to pick apart every little fucking thing that you do to find flaws and cracks in it. Never once stopping to consider maybe she's still struggling with some of the same kinds of pains and hurts. Just because she has done well and just because she's telling you that there's a better life for you, she never said there was a perfect life for you.
Right. And my life was not perfect, you guys. And that's the thing. I'm happy and I'm content, but my marriage isn't perfect. My life isn't perfect. My kids aren't perfect, but I'm happy with where I am, because where I was before and me growing as a person, I'm content with where I am. And I'm content, but I want you to know that I'm not perfect. I get up in the morning, I got to take a shit too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's like we're all in this. We're all in this together.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous to have expectations. We would show each other 1/20th of the compassion and the loyalty and the fealty and the concern and the care that we are willing to show these niggas out here. Maybe Black womanhood would look very, very different. See, I can call them niggas because it is what it is, and it is what the fuck it is. If Black women were to show each other just one drop of the loyalty that they're willing to show to their no good sons who disrespect their image every chance they get, then maybe Black womanhood wouldn't look so damn ratchet. Maybe we would look very differently. But the Black community sets us up from birth as little girls with all of this shame, and then are surprised when we find ourselves compensating in various ways. Now, some people have suggested to me and said to me, well, Breukelen is so unfeminine. She's so vulgar. She's so crass. She's so this and she's that. Listen, I dealt with my issues of shame and insecurity and feelings of vulnerability, a couple of years ago, and I've been transitioning through this process through my dark wisdom, dark goddess journey. And so so the reason why I'm not as cryy, I'm not as sensitive, I'm not as easily triggered as I was 5 years ago, hell, a year ago, is because, I'm just a little bit ahead on the journey. But don't ever think that I don't get triggered. Don't ever think that shit don't hurt my feelings. Don't ever think that there's never a point where I see somebody will make some stranger make some comment about my child, and I don't initially feel some kind of with that maternal instinct to protect him. Or when someone comes from me, Lipstick Alley has the thread where someone suggested that I am sleeping with my Jewish landlord. I don't have a Jewish landlord. And the kind of stuff that people will come up with just to
Lipstick Alley says that I don't even own a designer bag. That I'm just living in, my lifestyle is, I'm just like barely over the poverty line. I'm like, oh, y'all really know what's going on in my life, really?
Right. Maybe you have a different set of values where all your money doesn't go to designer brands making white people rich. Maybe it goes to
ours goes into IRAs. It goes into college tuition. It goes into retirement. I'm not trying to be, and it's okay that I drive a minivan. It's got it's fully loaded with leather seats and a refrigerator. So I'm good. I'm good with my Honda minivan. I'm good. And thank you, hubby, for buying me that lovely, fully loaded Honda minivan.
Right. And so I would love to, the question that I would then put out to all of the haters and the people who have been very suspicious, and don't get me wrong, I'm by no means saying that we can't exercise discernment when it comes to assessing another Black woman, our sister, right? And we have to exercise discernment because all skin folk are not kinfolk, and that includes those with vaginas. So there are plenty of haters out here who will sell themselves as this and sell themselves as that, who really do not have the best interests of Black women. So I'm not by any means saying we should just trust and follow and support any Black woman because she's Black. No different than I would never suggest we should do the same for Black men because they're Black. But what I'm saying is, why can't we look at the overall body of a person's work?
Exactly. Every time I tumble, it's like every good thing I've done just goes to the wayside. Breukelen, I just got a letter from somebody who said, I saw what's going on with you on YouTube, and I just want to say I got your back. In a few days, I'm about to be a bride, thanks to you. I get letters like that all the time. Putting myself out there is a risk, and yes, it's you are vulnerable to people who take shots at you, but it's those kind of notes. I mean, I get them all the time. The work that we do here, it matters. The work that we do is really making a difference, and I think that's why I had 75 videos saying that I ain't shit, because people were realizing that maybe I am the shit.
And this is what I want y'all to think about, ladies. No one sends military tanks to a street fight. If only when think about the United States, when the United States shows up with all its regalia and its military shit and it's ready to go down, that means some shit. There's a real threat going on.
Yes.
Right? If it's just two people, tussling out on the street corner, they're not going to send in the National Guard. So the fact that you have had 75 to 100 videos with people coming out the woodwork, people I have names I've never seen before, who will suddenly see an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon to get some hits to their YouTube channel so they can feel a little important in their miserable lives for 15 minutes, for 15 seconds, all because they can put crystal and kerosene in the name of their video. I mean, people, like you said, people who don't ride the short bus and people who have some discernment and intelligence would have to stop and say, instead of laughing along with the crowd, asking why, if what she's doing doesn't matter, or if what she's doing is so whatever, then why did they send the military out to deal with this?
The freaking Navy, the Army, they got the Navy SEALs coming after me. They got special ops. They got everybody coming for me. But I don't matter. I'm not a threat, really.
Right. And ladies, this is what like I said, use this as a case study. Take it out of just Crystalline and what's going on with the He-Man Black Women Hater Club and the Pimparchy Handmaidens, who are surely watching now. So hello. Yes. And and getting ready to upload the next round of 1,000 response videos to both CK and BB because they're trying to feed off of us. And I keep telling y'all asses, you're not gonna feed off of me. But you gotta ask, ladies, those of you who have some sense, and even the gentlemen that are watching too, why is so much attention focused on Chris? Why is what she's doing such a threat? Those women who do not want to date out, who do not want to marry out, who are nothing but a brother, Black women who are loyal to the Black race and have no interest whatsoever in dating out and marrying out or whatever, having mixed race children, they're not going to be swayed by anything I or Crystalline or anybody else says. So we are not a threat. So I don't understand why it's necessary to have 15,000 videos coming for one woman on YouTube because she says, Black women, guess what? Instead of having one option, you actually have 10. That's all you're saying. Yes. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And anybody that has any sense would stop and, instead of laughing with them, would stop and look at them and say, wait a minute, why y'all, what's going on here? You spend an awful lot of fucking time talking about this chick that you claim is so crazy. I don't deal with crazy people. If I see a crazy video or a crazy article or crazy shit going on, I don't feel it necessary to now run to YouTube and make a video about some crazy person that I think is insane and doesn't really matter. So the fact that you matter should let Black women know that you are a threat. What you're saying to Black women is a threat. And here is the deal, ladies. This question you should be asking is, why is it such a threat for Black women to know we have options? This is the bigger question.
We all have to answer that, because at first I have to tell you, I got to interject here because I've been doing this thing since 2010. I got my book deal first, and then my agent told me to start a blog. After I started the blog, I went on to YouTube, but it wasn't until, a few years later that I really got into it. But what I have seen when I first started, I used to blog for Madame Noir, and when I first started, people would say, oh, I know why you're promoting swirling. I know why you're promoting interracial relationships, because look at you. No Black man wanted you, so that's why you're doing this. I mean, that was first the argument. That was the argument in 2011, 2012. And then all of a sudden, and if you look at the latest statistics, and you guys, I just released that rise, that the absolute rise, not a little bit rise, but the absolute rise of interracial relationships happened between 2010 and 2014. And I'm just not going to take all the credit, but I'm going to just say,
right.
I probably had a little hand in that. But now it has gone to, you are now the betrayer. You are now the veteran. Before it was, you ain't nobody, don't nobody want you. We see why you're doing this because no Black man wanted you. By the way, Brooke, we have another record, 485, almost 500 people watching one. This is a record. We did 300 last time, 320. Now we're at almost 500 right now.
I see that. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, and here's the, listen, ladies, pay attention. If you are so, and Black men and love to quote any numbers or stats that talk about how we are the least chosen, that study that was done on OkCupid that say we are the least responded to, that study that was published by that Asian guy in the Journal of Science or something, saying that Black women, in a bioevolutionary way, that Black women are the least feminine because we don't have the traits that are universally considered feminine, which is, listen, Black women are the prototype of fucking femininity. We are the first women on the planet, and if he was really a good doctor, you would have to ask him, okay, so if you're a scientist, then what about this information that states that the Black woman's mitochondrial DNA is the oldest fucking DNA on this planet? So not only are we women, we are the first woman, and we are the prototype of womanity and femininity. So if our short nappy hair and our dark skin and our big butts are supposedly in a bioevolutionary way unattractive universally to men, then somebody's got to ask some questions, because we were the first fucking woman.
Exactly.
A bioevolutionary theory means that it starts from the beginning and it evolves. We are the beginning. So how can we possibly be universally the most undesired and unwanted, unchoosable, unmateable woman when we are the first fucking woman? It makes no sense. We're the first women. We are. But Black men are love to come and put forth all of this so-called evidence of how we're manly, and we've never dated a single baby mama, and Black women are this and Black women are that. Okay, nigga. And I told y'all to say nigga. I don't give a shit what the fuck you got to say about me saying nigga. Okay, nigga, I will go there with you. And I said it in my I agree with you video. I will concede and capitulate to everything you're saying about me. I agree. I am ugly.
I agree.
I am nappy-headed. I'm nappy-headed and I wear a hair hat. And it's blonde and it's glued in and it's plastic. And I'm fat. And I wear 15,000 layers of makeup, and I'm a horrible mother, and I'm stank, and I'm wretched, and I'm ratchet. I agree with you. So let me take all of that over. What I'm gonna do is, listen, you don't want it, you're saying it's unworthy, you agree with the scientists, you agree with OkCupid, nobody wants me. So what does it hurt for me to just put my defective product out on the open market?
Absolutely. Yeah, why do you care if I'm saying, okay, you don't want me, I'm ugly and disgusting, worst stewards of women, of children on the planet, I'm gonna just go over here. I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated or denigrated. But that's not what they want, is it, Blue? That's not what they want.
Well, because what they're doing in their that saying, thou protesteth too much, in their incessant need to come for you and what you represent, and to some extent what I represent too, is to acknowledge that they don't even believe their own bullshit they selling. Because if I am that horrible of a woman, you would not care if somebody takes me off your hands. Right? So now how am I a bed wench in one sentence? Because I'm a traitor, but I'm unlovable and unwantable, unmarriageable, unpartnerable, and unredeemable in the other.
Right.
How am I being a traitor if you just declared you don't want me?
Exactly.
It makes absolutely no fucking sense. And so,
and we're going to talk about this for a second. Let's talk about the double standard, because we talked about this offline. But part of the argument where I said, when all this stuff went down, I said, forget about how you feel about me. Because, because this person was going after all Black women. And it was your opportunity to show some nobility. It was your opportunity to show some ownership over the women that were included with me, that were innocent. And I saw none of that, not zeros, nada. But a lot of the argument was, well, once you swirl, once you go out of the community, you are no longer our issue. You're no longer our problem. Okay, so if that's the case, that's the logic you want to present. Okay, all right. Well, there are 2 Black men who are in the news, y'all. And I just want to bring it to the attention. There's 2 Black, Chris Brown, y'all. Now, we all know he's now in trouble because some woman said he pulled a gun. She happens to be white. They happen to be in a relationship, okay? And I have seen, and Blue has seen, video after video supporting Chris Brown, who is with a white woman, right now. And y'all have all kinds of support videos and all this other stuff. And so you can't say, well, he may be swirling, but he hasn't, he doesn't put down Black women. Oh, really? Because he wrote a song called "Them Hoes Ain't Loyal."
They're loyal, right?
Really? Really? Can we talk about that, Blue? Can we talk about that for a second? And we want to talk about that. Let's talk about Nate Parker right now, who is under fire because not only did he have a rape case that people are denying, they're saying, well, forget it. That never happened. Don't worry about it. We just need to support each other. Got a white wife, but y'all can seem to overlook his white wife and his biracial children and tell everybody that the movie is too important to miss. I mean, can somebody please explain that to me?
But it's so interesting that you say that, because this is what I saw too. This thing of, Crystal and Karazin, when you forfeited any protection and provision once you put that white man on the pedestal, and that's such bullshit. First of all, not like niggas was gonna show up and protect and provide anyway. So don't act like you suddenly decided to opt out now because this one Black woman said this shit. When we got a 60% fucking sexual molestation abuse rate going on in the homes and in the neighborhoods and the churches and the mosques and the temples and the fucking the abandoned houses and in the bedrooms of Black women and girls. So don't tell me you are just now suddenly not protecting and providing because Crystal and Karazin got a white man. Knock it the fuck off. See, here's the problem. Here's the fucking problem. This is why, ladies, you ladies, and I even see y'all doing it now. Y'all are in the chat room in the Google, and y'all are entertaining the troll. Don't feed the damn trolls. Y'all get emotionally triggered. Right. What you need to hit them with is the numbers. Because numbers, you can't refute a fucking number. Okay? So when you want to talk about how you suddenly were going to revoke protection and provision of crystalline kerosene against the white fool, the little white boy, stupid idiot, on YouTube because she married to a white man and she supposedly defamed black men. Nigga, please. Who you think you fucking fooling with that shit? Your ass wasn't going to step forward whether she was married to a white man, black man.
No, it wasn't going to do shit.
No, you weren't ever going to do shit. And how do we know? Because the numbers show it in the black community. We see the Chicago just this past weekend, 30 people shot.
Preach
in
it.
Chicago just this past weekend. Okay, and the numbers, and it's this whole thing called, what is it called? Wait, it's something effect. And what it is because black people have been rallying and protesting, talking about fuck the police and Black Lives Matter, cops all around the country are not being as vigilant, okay, and policing neighborhoods, and crime rates are going up. And y'all know who's committing the fucking crimes, okay? So where are the black men to step in to make up the difference for the absence of the white cops who they said fuck you to? Where are the street coalitions? I mean, at least in the 80s, they had the guardian angels here in New York that used to wear the red berets, that used to parole the streets of New York, that was started by the little Hispanic dude. At least they tried to do stuff like that. But where are the black men coming in to fill in the gaps when the police step back because y'all said fuck y'all? So
exactly.
The crime rate is going up.
I mean, a woman can't even walk down the street with her newborn baby to sign her other kids up to school without being killed. And where's your marching? No, you skipped right over that to talk about Colin Kirkpatrick, whoever's name, the 49er dude. Like that was more interesting. But you know he's a product of the swirl, by the way. Are you? But he's black. He's conveniently black
today, right? He's black when
he's black today.
Right. Jesse Williams wasn't black though. They didn't like Jesse Williams. But yeah. But so my question is, ladies, do not listen to the rantings and ravings of lunatics on social media, uneducated fools who speak emotionally and try to sound rational about shit that they can't prove. Look at the numbers. If they revoked and refused to show up to defend Crystalline in the face of that white racist, supposedly because Crystalline is a unique situation that brought it upon herself because of the things she say, then how come they're not out actually doing that and showing up for the rest of black womanhood in the black community? Why do we have the murder rates, the HIV rates, the rape rates, the molestation rates, the domestic violence rates, the criminal activity, the gun rates, the gun death rates? Why do we have those rates in the black community if black men any other time show up for your ass? But they just decided to sit this one out because crystalline kerosene is a traitor. Ladies, it's just so fucking ridiculous.
It is.
I need us to be a little bit more sophisticated in our thinking and not allow ourselves to be brought down, because this is a lesson for us. Ladies, we saw what was going on with Crystalline when she was being triggered in such a way that she felt like she kept having to prove herself, right? And in her desire to prove herself, she left cracks in her brand and in her message that allowed people to come for her. You doing the same thing when you engage these trolls on YouTube, when you make response videos to every little thing they say, when you get emotional, and when you inbox me sending me some video some fool said about me and asking me to respond to him. You're doing the same thing that you were mad at Crystalline for doing when she was constantly trying to prove herself innocent with everyone else. So you want to come for her, but you do the same thing. Why? Because you're being emotional, because your feelings are hurt, and because you feel shame when your own men, your own sons, that the image of your own son tells the world that you ain't shit. And so to defend yourself, because you're human, you feel the need to defend yourself, and in doing so, leave cracks for problems. And so the thing is, you have to ask yourself, If we are so on everything, unappealing, unmarriageable, unmotherable, nobody should want to be with us. There's a million don't date single black mother videos out there. Leave those hoes alone. Don't play cap. Don't be a simp, a mangina. They used to call them ankles. I haven't seen that term in a long time. Don't be Captain Save a hoe. You know, she want to fuck a thug and then have the lame nigga pick up, clean up the mess. Listen, you ain't got to do none of that. I agree with you. Stay the fuck away from us, right? Don't date us. Don't try to be with us. Don't give us, and definitely don't give us no more babies. Thank you, Lord, don't give us no more babies. Stay away from us. It's all right. Take your so-called protection and provision. Take it away. Go that way. And that way, we should not see you underneath a video where we're talking to each other about woman shit. Go that way. Exactly. To me, if I'm so you undo what, and this is what I keep saying to you, the very fact that you're on YouTube doing and saying the things you do, and then in the next breath when I talk about patriarchy and how we should submit to you, you don't realize how your actions themselves let me know that you're not true patriarchs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and that brings me to something else, Miss Carrington, I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
One of the things that everybody
before you do, I just want to shout out, there's a record, 507 people watching right now. 507 people. If you give $1 or $2 to 2 women who are out here putting ourselves out there, putting our necks out here to elevate, to be that other voice, go into the chat room. Stop giving your money to these fake movie making, fake emergency. I need money for a lawyer. I mean, we have tremendous spending power. Why are we spending it on these white supremacy pimps? These white supremacy pimps, what have they done? What have they built? But I can say, and Breukelen can say, that we have literally saved lives. I literally have arranged marriages, and people are married and happy because of the work that I do. And I ask you, and I ask on behalf of Breukelen, that if anything that we've done that has touched you, we would really appreciate it if you would help us and support us in that way. You can find the links to both of our PayPals in the info box. Now, Breukelen, you have the floor.
They're saying that my PayPal link, that my email address is not working in PayPal, but I'm looking and I'm seeing it's spelled correctly. Ladies, it's one-sided loyalty is for suckers, and suckers is SUCKAS @gmail.com. So if you just use that email address, one-sided loyalty is for suckers @gmail.com, and you use that email address at PayPal, then you should be able to get through. But yeah, I wanted to address this other thing about patriarchy, since they love talking about the patriarch and all that. And one of the things that's also been said during this thing, and has been said about you in the past, because I think it's time to clear all this crap up.
Yes.
Is that, you just proved to the world that the white man will not protect you, and black women are ridiculous. They're stupid if they think that the white man built his patriarchy to protect the image of black women and all this stuff. There's even videos titled that. Crystalline Carrington, or no, it's Breukelen Bleu. I think it's either me and you or both of us. The white you will not be protected in the white man's patriarchy. And there's the picture of those 2 little boys. Like, that was a black woman that was married to a white man. And those 2 little boys that got swept away. I think it was in Katrina. And how she went to try to get help, and she knocked on a white man's door, and he wouldn't let her in. And so everybody, this was the supposed black woman wake up call, that just because you married to a white man, that don't mean that they don't still see you as a slave woman. But here is the deal. Let me clear this up for y'all, since y'all don't seem to understand how shit works. Listen, I, as a black woman, would never expect the collective of white men to publicly push forward my image as a black woman over the image of his own mother. I would never expect that. Does that not mean that they're not willing to protect us individually if we align with them? Of course they will. But do I expect him to now replace the image of his own mother with my image? Absolutely not. And if he did so, he would be just like my man, and thus I would not want him.
Amen.
He would be just only the black man. Only the black man.
You are preaching up in here. Listen. You guys got your notes. You got your pencils and your pens.
I'll be a trans baby. What's the site for Sunset? Breukelen Bleu is a trans. How do you know? Oh, because you like trannies, boo boo. I remember last night, baby. Matter of fact, We on for next week at Tuesday? Because I know you like it on Tuesdays, boo boo. The tranny loving ass. I got your tranny, nigga. Y'all be out in your damn selves with this shit. Breukelen Bleu is a tranny. I know you know I'm a tranny because you like trannies. I gave you some tranny loving. You took that dick good last week, baby. Niggas think they slick. You're not hurting me with that kind of shit. That's what I'm saying, that low brow stuff they do.
Right.
But listen, ladies, here's the deal. I'm gonna tell y'all some dark wisdom shit so y'all can come out of the airy fairy clouds about this shit. Ain't no white collective of men coming to save your ass as a black woman. So knock it the fuck off. Okay? No white collective of man is going to promote and propel your image, your image and likeness over that of his own mother. And you spend the very and the fact that he will not do that is why you shouldn't mind partnering with his ass. If he's about that life, because he knows that only the black woman, right? Only the black man will elevate the image of another man's daughter, another man's mother over his own, right? So they'll use that as an excuse as to why you're not really protected, Crystalline, because your husband don't go flying to YouTube to show his face every 15 minutes when someone says something nasty to you. But what y'all niggas do not understand, I'm gonna say it, Crystalline. White men don't move the way y'all niggas move.
Right.
White men and men of power, not just white men of power, and that includes the very rare case of the black man of true power. They move in stealth.
He's not going to be coming. People are like, how come he's not on the channel battling? Because he doesn't do that shit.
No. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to say it for you. If Crystalline's husband were to get involved and start, and I'm putting it in a quote, protecting Crystalline the way y'all insist that he should, let me tell you something. People would be getting sued. Motherfuckers would be going to jail. Shit would be happening. And he would never have to show his fucking face on YouTube to get it done. Some people would end up losing jobs. People would end up losing marriages. All kinds of shit would happen because true men of power don't need to deliver symbolic acts of power. And this is the difference between power and strength. Black people are so used to the strength of the black man, they don't know the difference between that and the power of other men. And so what they're saying, they want your husband to come and show a sign of strength next to you. Yes, I'm Crystalline Karazin's white husband, and I defend her and all the black womanhood, and you Negroes need to get in line behind her. Listen, that's not what a real patriarch will take your ass out, and you'll never see him fucking coming. So keep asking for her to get her husband involved, okay? Keep asking for that shit, and then when shit goes down, don't be making videos about how fucked up it is that some shit happened to this person. Whatever happened to that person? Oh shit, I heard this person got sued. Keep fucking around, putting her children's faces on memes, putting her children's faces on shit, because what y'all tend to forget is those are his children too. Keep putting the white man child, I don't care if it's by a black woman, keep fucking with his bloodline and see what happens to you. Y'all waiting for her husband to show up on screen? Oh no, he'll never show up on screen. You'll never see him coming. Y'all don't, this is why I say to you ladies, do not listen to black men and black women, the He-Man Black Women Haters Club and the Pimparchy Handmaiden, y'all know who they are. Sit and talk about and try to deconstruct the things I say, and Crystalline and women like me, and try to convince you of all this typical nigga thinking about how shit goes. Black people have no idea what real power looks like. So we talk amongst ourselves about things that we really don't know because we don't understand how the rest of the world works. All I'm gonna say is this: you better hope Crystalline's husband don't show up to protect her. That's all I'm gonna say. You better hope that man does not, because shit is not gonna end like y'all are thinking, and it ain't gonna be no symbolic act of strength on YouTube. I believe that. So keep tempting her. Keep fucking tempting her, because I don't think any of you are ready. Crystalline has people. You just wait to see who would rally around Crystalline if you fuck with her hard enough. And I'm just gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna say it, and I can fucking say that shit, and I don't give a shit what y'all say. Y'all have no idea what a real patriarch looks like. I would not want a man. I would not want. Listen, black women, y'all are so silly. Y'all get so upset because the white man is not walking around protesting with images of Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth on it, talking about the black woman is God, we love the black woman. Y'all get so angry because you think that because he's not putting you on the front of everything, although they are talking about putting the black woman on the what, the $20 bill, and that's a symbolic act. But just because he's not out front rallying for you doesn't mean that he cannot offer you protection, that he will not promote or elevate you. I'm not saying every single one. I'm saying in general, if you find the right person, do not believe that. Because what you need to understand is you don't want a man who would replace the image of his own mother with yours. You don't want a man who would do that. You see what that looks like. Look at your own men. This is what he has done to you. That is a sign of disloyalty. That is not a true patriarch.
I mean, even you look at the guy who started all this mess. He's like, yeah, some white women are messed up, but nobody's going to talk about my white women. I mean, it's like even the tiny roaches of that group. And here's the thing: the difference is that white men do not put qualifiers on the white women they protect.
They sure
They
don't.
protect old women, young women, girls, babies. They protect lesbians. They
Feminists.
Rabid feminists.
Yes,
they protect smelly women, good-looking women, ugly women. I mean, every kind of woman, they protect them, and there's no qualifiers for it. And that's why I say, as a collective, I have very little respect for black men, for what I see, because all of these qualifiers and all of these reasons why, give me a reason why I shouldn't protect you. Give me a reason why you're not worthy. Give me, any little thing. And here's the thing, there was so much of a moving target when it comes to what is quote unquote a good black woman, right? I mean, that target is always moving. It's always going this, that, and the other. And it's a hamster wheel that you're always on, and there's no end game because it's just meant to drive you crazy. And so here is what I say is that all of these so-called white supremacy pimps, all these people on YouTube talking about we need to build a black patriarchy. I'm gonna say right now, there's no way in hell I would want to live under a black patriarchy. I would fly to the moon before I would do that, because the level of just the understanding of elevating your woman and understanding that the reflection of how you treat her is how the world looks at you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because this let me just say, so the comment that's just left by Pharaoh Hamidic, which is interesting that he is actually using the name of Pharaoh, which is the name to describe actually a queen and not a king, but that's a whole nother conversation, from an ancient black empire, and then Hamidic, which describes also a bloodline deriving from black people in Africa. He uses that name. He has a picture of what looks like, I don't even know what's going on, but then he puts black woman pussy smell like battery acid and fried chicken.
See, and that's why you're not winning. That's why you're not winning. That's why they're not winning.
But niggas come out of that pussy though.
Right.
So what you just said is the pussy that your black ass come out of smells like battery acid and fried chicken, nigga. So what you think? You think that the seed is the fruit is different than the fucking seed? Oh no, nigga, you just said that your ass is so fucking low that the womb that birthed you smells like battery acid and fried chicken. But you sit and you call yourself Pharaoh Hamidic, supposedly paying homage to the ancient black bloodlines, African bloodlines that were born from black women. And then you turn around and you talk about black women as if we ain't shit. And then you wonder why you don't get a seat at the table of men. No, you're sitting at the kiddie table. You know how when you go to the family reunion or you got the, and everybody's sitting around the table, all the grown folks. And when you're a little kid, you got to go sit at the little table. And you don't get a real plate. You get a plastic plate or a paper plate. You don't get a real knife and fork.
Exactly. Right? And you don't get to sit in the dining room chair. You got to sit in the fold up chair.
In the fold up chair, and you can't sit on the carpet because you don't want to. You can't drop nothing, and you can't get a glass.
You got the white plastic tablecloth that tears like so easy.
Right, and you got to get a plastic cup because they can't trust you not to break the damn glass. Okay, that's where black men sit at. at the fucking kiddie table. Everybody else is sitting at the grown man table running the world, but your ass sitting at the kiddie table. Why? Because you would say some dumb bum nigga shit like that. What black woman pussy smell like battery acid and fried chicken. But then you call yourself Pharaoh Hamidic. But
right.
see, nigga, some black women are actually educated. I know who the pharaohs were, and I know who the Hamites were. So you are calling that, and so this is blasphemy because you're calling on in your name and in your moniker, you're calling on the ancient bloodlines of African women, but in your name, and then you blaspheme the same African woman by saying shit like that, and then you wonder why your ass is getting killed out in the street by every motherfucker with a gun in a dream. See, nigga, you want me to protest? A bullet in the dream, Crystalline.
Right. Okay, I gotta stop you for a second because we have a special guest.
Oh,
okay. Okay, we got Angel Ramirez Jordan on the phone. He's on my phone, and he's been listening what's been going on. And I just want you guys to know, Angel, say hi so everybody know you're on.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Okay, so Angel was behind. He was the one black man who saw me cry.
My phone number on the screen. Right?
Oh, sorry. You said you want to do this, and I don't know. I've never done this before. It's like a bunch of numbers. Okay.
It's a delay, Angel. It's a delay. That's why it's still showing.
Okay.
It's a delay.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. You're not on my screen anymore.
No, it's a delay.
Okay. So.
You know people go run down. I'm gonna have to change my number now tomorrow, right?
Yeah, she is.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so Angel. So yeah, change her. So everybody's saying they love you, this and that and the other. So Angel was instrumental in last week. You guys love my theme song. He mixed it for me. He did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of sneaky gangster ninja shit that he did that I can't say, but he was behind a lot of stuff. And so he was very, very supportive of me. But he's listening to this right now, and he wants to come in and say something to me, to us, because he's not happy right now. So Angel, I'm gonna give you the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Can they hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Blue, can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Okay, we all can hear you.
All right, what's poppin', y'all? All right, so basically, I'm sitting here laying back, you know what I'm saying? That's late where I'm at, right? And I'm reading the comments, so I'm just sitting here reading or whatever. And I was texting Crystalline while the stuff was going on. I was like, it's sad. Like, it's real sad. And the thing is, for me, is I've only ever seen a chat like this in a chat room, and one other person in the chat room, that is similar, right? And that's Tommy Sotomayor. And I'm going to be real right there, okay? It's a lot of hate going on in this chat room right now, okay? Now, sisters, you already know how I feel about you. You already know what I'm about, and you know where I stand for y'all, right? And first and foremost is that the thing that's really necessary is I understand that some of y'all are in a bad place and you've had real bad experiences. I get it. Trust me, believe me, I get it. For those of you that know, one of my first videos I ever made was based on the kind of comments that are showing up on this chat, right? And it was basically me saying, wow, not all black men are bad. Why you gonna attack us all? But the thing is, I realized that the reason a lot of y'all act the way you do or say the things you say in relation to your treatment is because of the treatment. Every action has a reaction, right? Yep. Every action has a counteraction, all of that stuff. But the thing that you need to understand is, yes, there are bad black men and there are black men that have disrespected you and hurt you and really stress you out, of course. And you're in that state of mind where you're at now, you've had enough. But the problem is, not every black man is like this. And I see a lot of y'all talk about the conscious community. And I peeped what Breukelen Bleu was talking about. And I really appreciate conscious sisters. I appreciate sisters that got a lot of intelligence. And I'm a spiritual brother. I do a lot of reading, So, and the thing that you need to understand, I see a lot of y'all talking about Hotep brothers and brothers that are conscious. I've said before that sisters need to stop fucking with niggas. That's a real fact. Y'all need to stop fucking with niggas and get you a conscious brother. And there's a difference.
But what is a conscious brother? What is it? I mean, okay, so everybody wants to go on the no nigga diet. We all go on the no nigga diet, but okay.
There's a difference between a real conscious brother and a brother that's just using consciousness as an excuse to attack black women and put across his own supremacy towards black women and his patriarchy towards black women. Because if you look at real brothers like Farrah Sarah Sinsetti, I've got to put myself in that. We actually look at black women as divinity and worship, and we would never take black women and put them in a certain position where they would feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Real men understand that your nation will only rise as high as the pedestal you put your women on. And y'all said this already. White men get that. White men get that, right? And that's why they put their women on a particular pedestal.
Yep.
And there are a lot of brothers that are starting to wake up and recognize this, right? It's a slow process. And the thing is, hate does not, hate on both sides doesn't equal nothing. It's like the woman that who's dark skinned but hates light skinned people. The guy who's light skinned but hates color. Starting your own colorism doesn't counteract colorism or racism. The same way the hatred that they will have for you, having that hatred for all black men don't work. Because there are brothers who might turn around and be like, they might be good brothers. They might truly want to respect you and love you and give you everything that you want. But they see some stuff like this, or they hear the stuff that's going on, and they gonna be like, nah, man, like, see, these sisters don't want me, so what could I do? And trust me and Crystalline talk all the time. We fight all the time. We argue all the time. And we have these conversations all the time, and she knows me. I'm melanin over everything. I'm a truly... Like,
I tagged him that. I wanted to trademark for that. I want to start getting licensing for melanin over everything. I was the one who did it. Right.
Last year when she came up with that, and that's not one of my slogans. But the thing is, the thing... Here's this. Look, here's the thing. So some people turn around and be like, you know what? Yeah, but Angel, but you're not full black. You only half black. And those of us in the conscious community understand. Like, if you know, if you really know what's good, like, I'm half Jamaican, half Puerto Rican, right? And there's a lot of I know Breukelen Bleu knows this woman's name. I'm trying to think of the.
You guys are both on the same. You guys are both from the same neighborhood, Bed-Stuy, by the way.
All right, that's what's up. You already know. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm saying is that there's people in the Puerto Rican community that are Afro-Latinos and Afro-Latinas. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that I'm trying to say is that the black community is bigger than just African Americans. So, sisters, if you have had problems with African Americans, right, there are people outside of the African American community who are still a part of the African diaspora that have a slightly different culture. But don't just start everybody with the same brush.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
can I address that? I would love to address that. Hello, Mr. Angel.
Okay. Angel, say hi to Breukelen.
I didn't hear her.
She said hi. She wants to address it.
I want to. Okay. First, I want to say hello to you because we've never talked. So hello.
He says, "What's up, Miss?"
Okay. So I'm gonna give you my perspective on this, right? So I'm a little older than you, and I am like you. I'm a native New Yorker, and those of you who have followed my platform know, and I've talked about this, that I was once a conscious Black woman, right? So I was conscious in the 90s when I was young. I was in my early 20s. I started in my late teens, early 20s, and I pretty much remained conscious probably into my early 30s. And I say that in quotes because I'm still conscious. I just have a different type of consciousness now. But I will say this. Listen, I actually am a fan of yours, Angel. I know who you are, and I have seen your videos, and I've actually shared a video or two of yours on my page. And I agree with what you said in that not every single Black male on the planet fits the description of what we're talking about, right? Not every single one. And that's kind of understood. I thought that was kind of understood. But let me tell you my take on this as a woman who's older. So I came up in the conscious community in the 90s. When it was actually kind of cool to be conscious. It was, conscious rap and hip hop, and it was self-destruction and UNITY. And, I shaved my head. I had a shaved head and a pierced nose, and everything was gaylets and cowrie shells, and I was all into the mathematics, and I used to study. I had a boyfriend who was a 5%er, And so, and then I also, you know, had a dude that I was, you know, cool with, who was in the NOI. So I'm very familiar with the conscious world and the various, you know, the various factions there within. And so I do agree with you that there is a difference between a hotepper and a black man who is truly conscious. I do agree with you, but I would suggest this. You are a unicorn.
Yes, Angel.
You're a unicorn, Angel.
Should be quiet.
You're a unicorn. And yes. The problem with what you're saying is, I'm going to tell you what the problem is as a woman who is older and has seen, you know, I got 25 years in this, so I've seen what happens. The reason, I understand what you're saying, and I understand your need to defend yourself the same way we were just talking about our need as black women to defend ourselves, right? When someone is coming at you, the natural impulse is to say, but wait a minute, that's not me. And so I'm not coming at you on a level of disrespect for that, because I do respect you, and I do think that you mean what you said. Here is my concern.
Wait, Blue. Wait. Just ask it.
Right.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing, right? Because do you not see what's going on in the chat room section, right?
I do.
Now, people talked about polygamy and stuff like that. I don't go with the polygamy part. You know, Kristen knows me. I'm monogamous. I don't play with that shit. But here's the thing. I'm 30 years old. All right. I've been there, done it all. I'm from Marcy, so I'm from the gutter, right? And I'm work in progress. I tell you all the time, I'm work in progress, right? And the thing that I always go with is that we have to be our brothers and sisters keepers. So when we see something that's wrong, or we see something that needs rectifying, we need to help rectify that, right? So I see a lot of knick-knock talk. Like, I'm seeing people saying knick-knock and po-nicky and all this, and all types of really messed up, like, language coming through, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, like, wow, how are you any better with this kind of attitude? Like, I can't respect nobody that's going to attack my people. Now, the problem with, I'm aware that not all skinfolk are kinfolk, right? But in the same context and the same concept is like, my whole, like I said, remember what I said to you before, Crystal, and I talked about, you know, I said some of the older generation are lost, we can't save them, but our focus needs to be the children. Because we can raise our children to be better, and we can focus on them, and that's where our energy needs to be focused. And I'm not trying to, when I have my children, Crystal, you see my woman, you know how my woman, what's up, and like me and her, when we have our children, we're going to raise them to be very pro-black and be very proud of who they are. I'm going to raise my sons to be kings. I'm going to raise my daughters to be queens, and never even acknowledge any type of black man that will bash them.
Okay, you know? Angel. I know, we all know, everybody in the chat room knows what you're about. That is not the issue here. The issue is that, okay, Breukelen, go ahead.
I will say this. Y'all have to understand, okay. Angel, they were saying the same thing back in 1988, 89, 90, 91. We're going to raise our children different. We're going to be kings and queens. We're going to protect the earths and the gods. And you have to understand, as a woman like me, I have seen and heard all of this before. See, here's the deal. I don't disbelieve your genuine, your authenticity. I really do believe that you really do want this for us. I really do believe it. Here is my take. That as a black woman, we are at a point right now where we can no longer risk the large chance that we're going to get a hotepper instead of an angel in our quest for the conscious man. So many black women think they're getting an angel, and they end up with a hotepper or a polygamist or some foolishness. And I got a trail of black girlfriends. Wait, Angel, listen.
This whole hotep talk, because hotep means to be at peace. Like, I'm just curious why.
I know what hotep means.
Okay, we gotta do one at Angel. You gotta have to let her speak, because, and this is what Angel does to me.
Yeah, but I'm struggling to hear though. That's why.
Okay, she knows what it means, but it's okay. See, that's why I invited you to come in the chat room, but you was like, no, can I just call you? So you now are the product of what you didn't want to do.
I'm in my bed, so
you could have been invisible. You could have been invisible. See how we fight? See how we fight? Hush.
Ain't nobody fighting.
Just be quiet. Can you just be quiet and let her finish? Okay, but can you just be quiet though and just let her finish? Okay, Breukelen, please. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the deal. You are concerned as a conscious Black man about the fate of Black people. I am concerned as a sovereign, dark goddess Black woman about the fate of Black womanhood. And although you may think it's the same, I have learned that it's not the same, and here is why. So many Black women go looking for you and end up with something else, and it destroys not just them, it destroys their children, it destroys the next Black woman, and we get more of the same thing. And all I am saying is that I, as an older Black woman, are not willing to gamble the futures of younger Black women on the hopes that they get a you and not one of these other ones that are going to drag them through the mud, that are going to end up, I have a trail of Black girlfriends that I knew back in the day who went looking for an angel and got you know who, the doctor without the doctorate. I got a trail of girlfriends who domestic violence, end up in polygamous situations. They got sister wives and all this crap. And now they're my age and their lives are destroyed because they thought they had an angel and what they had was a fucking hotep nigga. And see, I am not at 40, almost 45 years old going to lie to my sister and tell them that if they hold out hope and if they go digging really hard and they go looking through the haystack, they're going to find an angel. Because the truth of it is the laws of percentages are not in their favor. And the chances are they're not going to end up with an angel. They're going to end up with someone who is going to destroy their life, destroy their children's lives, and send their bloodline on a 300-year detour. And I am not in good conscience as a dark wisdom woman cannot say, hold out hope, sisters. Because when I get Black women in my inbox who did that, okay, who did that shit, and now they're mourning, they're crying, their lives are a mess because they thought they had an angel and they had a fucking devil and with a dashiki on, okay, and now they need help clearing up their lives. They're a mess because they thought that listen, as a Black, I'm an older Black woman. See, my perspective is a little different because.
Okay, I think, okay, Angel, let me just mediate. Are you saying, can I ask you what you're saying?
I was trying to say from when I came on Jump, right? I'm not telling nobody to go find them a Puerto Rican, Jamaican, light-skinned dude, right? I'm not telling you to go wait for somebody like me or somebody like this man or that man. Go do whoever you gotta do and be with whoever you gotta be. I don't care. Nobody really cares. But the point I'm saying is, you can't come up on some stuff like this and just put every Black man in the exact same category.
So then what are we supposed to do, Angel? See, here's the problem. You leave, but listen, here's the deal.
Wait.
How we went down the realm of, we got to get somebody like Angel. Ain't nobody telling you, because there's only one me, and I'm already taking it. I'm not saying it.
And thank you for saying that. Because there's only one you, and you're already taken. And I'm sure your beautiful Black woman doesn't want to share you.
Now, all y'all people, no, Crystal, all y'all people is saying mute Angel, buy Angel, whatever. It's fine. I step off of y'all community. It's cool. I will step off of y'all community, and it's fine. I'll stick with my Black community, my pro-Black community, and my conscious community, and we'll uplift women on my side of the community, and I'll continue to do what I gotta do. But y'all bashing Black men and thinking that makes y'all even better. That don't make y'all no better. It don't make y'all no better at all. Two wrongs don't make a right. It does not make a right, and that's the sad part. And if y'all can't grasp what I'm saying, I'm not telling you to get a Black man. Go with who the hell you want to go with. I don't care. But the whole point of everything I'm saying is, don't generalize people and then get mad when other people generalize you. How the hell are we going? Come on, two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm done. I have no more to say. But that's the sad part. That's a mad sad part that y'all can't see where I'm getting at.
I see where he's getting at.
Okay, well, he hung up. Go ahead, Breukelen.
So listen, here's
mad. I love you, Angel. Still, you still my buddy.
I got love for Angel too. I understand he's upset, and I would be upset if I was him too, because he's in a very unique position. He does represent I truly believe that he represents the real deal, and so I know the frustration it can be to be the real deal and have everybody, automatically assuming you're not. So Angel, there's no hard feelings on Breukelen Blue side. I understand your frustration. I'm not taking it personally at all. And it's all good. It's all love in the hood and BK, right? So it's all good. Here's my stance, and I want y'all to understand. This is the difference between me and Angel, and there's a reason why there's a difference between me and Angel. When I was younger, I was a race woman, and I thought everything was a us thing. It was a we thing. The problem is I've learned over the years that it's not a we thing. Not because Black women don't want it to be a we thing, but because Black men have made it clear through their actions that it's not a we thing. And I have to clarify that this goes beyond slavery, because what is always said is that it is slavery that causes this kind of tentative loyalty of the Black male towards the Black woman, when I got the receipts and know for a fact that that's not true. And here is the deal. Angel, I know you're not on right now, but I'm speaking directly to you. I have studied the scholars you have studied. I have met Dr. Ben. I met John Henrik Clark. I brought Ivan Van Sertima to my college. I was the vice president of the Black Student Alliance, and he did a 2-hour presentation on They Came Before Columbus. I studied at the Schomburg Institute. I did all of these before you was even born. You know what I'm saying? But when you was a little kid, I was up doing these things. Not before you was born. I'm not that much older than you. I got about
like a toddler.
A decade and a half. But long before you was even in the know of these things, Breukelen Bleu was out there gathering receipts. Right now, of course, the receipts I was gathering was different because I had a different agenda in mind. What I have learned over time as an older woman is that it costs Black women collectively too much to do what he is asking, to hold out hope, to go searching for that one guy that's the real deal and not a farce, not somebody that's taking advantage of all of the chaos and the dysfunction in the Black community. And in the way, for every Black woman who is fortunate enough to find an angel, like his beauty, I've seen this girlfriend, she's beautiful. And for every Black woman who is fortunate enough to find a brother like Angel, there are 5,000 Black women who did not. And that sister is the one that's in my inbox crying and weeping and mourning and is mentally ill and physically ill and all of that, because she went looking, she was holding out hope. He says, don't label all Black men. The problem is Black women turn everything into a goddamn religion. So if you tell us that there is hope, even if it's 1%, even if it's a hair's level of hope, she will see that hope in every no good nigga that she ever comes across. And that is going to lead to more of what we have now, because it leads to the Black Lives Matter movement, because then what that means is that hope, that slither of hope, now means that I gotta take this bullshit, I gotta birth this nigga's babies when he ain't fit, I gotta deal with his domestic violence, I gotta deal with his rape, I gotta allow him to molest my children, I gotta live in poverty, because on hope. And I am, as a Black woman, a middle-aged, older, emerging crone Black woman, not willing to sell that hope to Black womanhood coming up behind me and tell them the chances are they're going to end up with an angel, when I know that's a motherfucking lie. And I would not be a dark wisdom woman if I paint this shit as if it is not what the fuck it is. I personally am not willing to gamble the collective of Black womanhood on the hope of the few unicorns that is Angel. I'm not willing to do it. If an individual sister is willing to risk her future on it, have at it, more power to you, best of luck, sister, hotep. But I, in the work I do, am looking to free Black women from having to feel obligated to search for the angel and give up 20, 30, 40 years of their life, only to reach their 50s and their 60s to realize not only did they never find him, that they made more of a mess for the Black community, they're unhappy, they never met their dreams, their children hate them, and their sons are shit, and their daughters are repeating the cycle. Nothing good ever happens of it. And then when she does that, the same Black community then turns around and gives her its ass to kiss. So my question would be, my statement back to Angel, respectfully, because even though I'm passionate, I'm not angry at Angel whatsoever. I actually like Angel.
Right. He is blowing up you hear all this ding?
Just let me finish. And
okay, listen, I need to say this right now. As a personal favor to me, the people in the comment section, Carl, if you're listening, anybody who says a derogatory thing, because listen, you guys.
Yeah, I don't like that. Fuck Angel and his girlfriend.
Up for me, I was being dragged through the internet and through YouTube. And I will not sit up here and let you guys say all of these bad things about him. Carl, you mute, delete all the bad things you hear. They're them saying about Angel. Y'all ain't gonna say, you're not gonna be up on my channel insulting him when he was, up. I mean, when he was doing that song for me, he was up like way into the wee hours of the night. He wasn't getting sleep. He was out there doing ninja investigations, finding out where folks lived and stuff. I mean, he was on it for me. He did that for me.
Excuse
and so
me.
I would
Skype
ask you.
needs your attention.
And now my goddamn computer is talking to me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I say it's the same thing, ladies, and listen. Don't do that to Angel. Don't do that. Just because you're frustrated, you don't want him interrupting what me and Chris was saying. Listen, no, don't do that. Don't do that, because he has had Chris's back, right? And he has your back as black women.
Himself.
Right. And here's the deal. He has listen, we are on here talking about the one-sided loyalty of black men who don't have our back unconditionally. Angel has y'all's back unconditionally, even though y'all are sitting here calling him names and saying this about him. He loves black women, and he's willing to put his face forward, and he's doing the same thing me and Chris are doing, even more than me, because I ain't put my face out there. He has put his face out there and taken on the horde, the legion of the He-Man Black Women Haters Club that has called him a simp and a mangina and a this and a that. Right, so do not do that. Do not do that.
I mean, he's had his channel shut down so many times, standing up for us, and it's just intolerable. I mean, you guys need to show some dignity, show some respect. Don't be like how they are. And he's right. It doesn't make us. We are. I would like to think that our fans are a reflection of us. I know there's some people who are still in their journey, and I also understand there are people who are in some real pain, and they're lashing out. I understand that, but Angel is not your target. I mean,
no, he's not.
I mean, like this was. Yeah, go ahead.
If we had more angels, you and I wouldn't be having this discussion.
Exactly.
So don't come at Angel. Listen. I've never talked to Angel before. This is the first time I've ever addressed Angel ever. Okay, so this is not me just caping for Angel because I got a thing for Angel. But come on, y'all. He is one of the few people who stood up for Chris and has put his face and his name on the line in the face of the horde, the horde of haters of black womanhood in defense of y'all's image, whether y'all like him or not, whatever. So don't fucking do that. This is not the time and place, okay?
Right.
So
because you're just making yourself look. You're making yourself look no better. I mean, that is not what.
And here's the deal. Here's the deal. Listen, ladies. I'm a little different. I'm a dark wisdom woman, so I don't feel like I have to be fair, right? I don't have to be fair. So he said it's not fair because we shouldn't do to them what they do to us. I don't really give a shit about that. But what I will always stand up for is someone who steps up for me. And so Angel has stood up for us, and so don't do that. I understand you're frustrated because you wanted me and Chris to get back to our thing, and I get that. Listen, it's a Friday night. Chris, you got somewhere to be? I don't have nowhere to be.
I'm cool.
You 3 hours behind me. It's midnight. It's only 9 o'clock where you are, so it's good. So it's all right if we take a little time to talk to Angel, ladies. Calm down. It's all right. He didn't do anything. He didn't throw us off the message. We're still gonna stay on message. He just wanted to present something, a different view. And I understand what Angel is saying. And when I was his age, I felt the same way. Right. All I'm saying is that as a black woman, my position is a little different, particularly because I'm older. And I have seen black women think that they see an angel in every black male they see. And the folly of believing that causes so much of the very dysfunction that the black community and then turns around and accuses us of. Stop choosing thugs. Stop doing this. Every black woman thinks that her man or her son or her brother or her uncle or her daddy is an angel. And she literally is an angel. The word, right? Is angel and is an angel. And if she just get behind him, support him, encourage him, help him, bail him out, love him, give him ass, give him babies, cook him food, make his plate, suck his dick, that he will rise up and become like the angel that we're talking about. And in this gap, this desire to see an angel in every man they see is where we get this dysfunction. And so all I'm saying is, as a black woman who is older, I cannot in good conscience suggests to Black women, particularly younger Black women, to set themselves on a mission to look for an angel, because the chances are they will not find him, and what they find instead will destroy their fucking lives, and not just their lives, those of their children. And that's all I'm saying. If you come across one, listen, go for it.
Right. Because we are not about telling you, anybody but a Black man. I mean, honestly, if I've got 3 daughters, and if an angel came to my daughter and said, I want to marry, I would be like, yes, absolutely. Because he's a quality man. He's the type of person who is going to stand in front of a train for his family. He's the type of person who's going to work his ass off to make sure that his wife is taken care of, his children are taken care of, and that they're raising him in the right way. And it's unfortunate, but there is very few of them. The fact that, Angel, and I know you're listening to this right now, the fact that you keep getting booted off YouTube is an example of you being the minority. That you have so many Black men that hate your guts so much that they want to shut you down is an example and proof of what we're saying.
And here is the deal. The truth of it is, listen, ladies, and I'm telling y'all because I've been there and I made the rounds. You may look up and find a really good, decent Black guy, and there are some out there, and I know a few. And I would never suggest that every single human Black male on the planet is unworthy. Come on now. I expect us to have some nuance, right? But what I have learned is, like I said, you give Black women an angel, and they'll take a mile. They'll take 10,000 niggas, because every nigga is now going to become an angel. It's like you give a person an inch, and they'll take a mile. You give Black women an angel, and they'll take the collective of Black males, thinking that every one of them is like angel, and in their desire to prove that is where the dysfunction comes from.
Yes.
And here is the problem. I hope Angel understands this. It's not like the Black community is welcoming and cheering on and elevating and promoting and celebrating Black women's attempts to find an angel.
Right.
In our attempt, what are we told? You need to choose better. Well, you chose him. Well, he's a thug. Well, what you thinking? Well, you shouldn't have given him some pussy. You the gatekeeper of sex. So when you hear all of that, listen, as a woman, when someone tells me that everything hinges on me and my decision-making process, and if I don't make the right decision, that I am the destroyer of an entire community, of an entire race, I'm sorry, but my vetting process and my standards are going to be a little bit more rigid. Right. Because what you're saying is there's no room for a mistake on my part. See, the Black women, the Black community, right, no room for. So once you leave me no room, there's no wiggle room. There's no place for me to be human, to make mistakes. Because if in my humanity I fuck up and choose the wrong guy, you're gonna fucking punish me for the rest of my life, and then blame the fall of the entire Black race, the oldest race on the planet, on me. Right. And so once you put that on me, then now I, of course, if I got any sense, I'm going to be a little bit more stringent in my vetting, and I'm going to be a little less forgiving in my assessment of men, of suitors, of potential mates. And you put me in that position because what you said is one false move and off with our head. Right. If my crystal ball is broken that day, or if it's cloudy and I chose the wrong nigga and end up getting knocked up, and somehow it don't work out, I'm a bastard baby making hair hat hooligan, thug loving, Cretan criminal birthing, Jezebel demon seed spawn, demon deserves death. Right. So once you put that on me and you say that is my burden to carry, then you best believe I'm not gonna have a lot of room for you now. I'm not gonna leave room.
Exactly. I'm not gonna give you. I mean, if you're giving me that kind of pressure, that whatever decision I have to make has to be 100% perfect. You're right. I'm not going to give you a lot of leeway to meld into whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just err on the side of caution. I mean, like, seriously, you can't have it both ways. I mean, the way that I see, especially on YouTube, how these men fold themselves into pretzels, trying to make everything the Black woman's fault. And it's just like, but you want to lead? You are not fit to lead a kindergarten class across the street. to the park. You ain't fit.
No, and here is the deal. So what's also happened, and I've said this before, and this ties back into our topic for tonight of Black women's tears and Black women's emotions. What happens is the more degraded and the more I don't even know what's the word for it when a person, the more I don't know what's the word for when the base the Black male becomes, the higher the standards for the Black woman to balance it out. So the standards become Puritan-like for the woman to make up for the debasement of the male. And so what that means is you back me into a corner, not just in my choices of mate, but emotionally, right? I can't afford to be as vulnerable. I can't afford to show weakness. I can't afford even to sometimes to show kindness. Because if I show kindness, this is the bullshit of the Black community. Okay? You back us into a corner where every little mistake means that we are causing the downfall of the race. We are not allowed our humanity. We can't make a bad call. We can't go, have a bad relationship. We can't do the things that other people do because everything ties on us, right? And you put that on us. But then you also expect us to be light and girly and feminine and gracious and walking down the streets of New York smiling. I can't begin to tell you how many times a Black man has told me, smile, sister. How can you not smile? Black women always look so mean. Listen, if you had the burden of the fate of an entire race between your thighs, your ass wouldn't be happy and smiling either. You walking around knowing that you got to figure out which one of the brothers that look like you is your enemy and which one is your friend. And you are going to be blamed if you get it mixed up. You're not going to be happy and smiling when you walk down the street either. If you have to endure a 60% chance of being molested or raped or attempted rape before you even reach adulthood, you're not going to be smiling and happy and gracious and flirtatious either. So that even comes back to this thing. So then you wonder why we are so mannish and hard and why we're not traditionally feminine. We're not soft. Why would we be soft when you back us into a corner that every little thing that we do, the fate of the entire race hinges on every single thought I have? I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death to be a regular person, a regular human being, a regular woman. I don't want to show no vulnerability. Yes, I'm gonna give you attitude. Why? Because if I'm only supposed to give attitude to the bad guys, but how the fuck do I know who the bad guy is? Because according to y'all, it's only a thug, but y'all keep changing the definition of what a thug is.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm gonna give you an attitude. No, I'm not gonna be as happy and giggly, and I'm not gonna twirl my hair like a white girl and invite you down into my pussy because I got the fate of the race on me. And if I choose you and it turns out to be choosing wrong, you're gonna turn right around and blame me for the fall of the race.
You're to blame. I mean, and this is what we're talking about. Just circling back again to the whole Black girl tears. How many of you guys have heard, oh, well, Black women are so manly and so masculine and they're not soft, and other races of women are softer. And what they don't get is that they're actually dissing their own patriarchy. Because what they're saying is that what they're really saying is that this other man has created a safe place for this woman to be to feel soft and feminine and vulnerable. And I'm attracted to that because we're not doing that over here, because our women ain't doing that, because we're not doing that.
Right.
But what you're basically doing is paying homage to another man's patriarchy.
Yes.
You say that those women are softer and gentler and they don't have attitude. Well, what are you doing that is creating this type of woman? And the thing is that you can't have Black women, but you can't be the leader and the follower.
Right.
You pick which one you're going to be. You can't say it's a Black woman's fault they did this. You're not a leader. You can't, you can't be a leader and a follower. Which one are you going to be? If you're going to be a follower, then shut the fuck up and just let things go as they go.
Right. And you don't get to say on how things turn out. And here's the other thing.
Exactly.
When we got a 60% rape, attempted rape, molestation, and incest rate in the Black community, which I actually believe is probably closer to 70%. I can honestly say that 7 out of every 10 Black women I've ever known or come across in my life has been a victim of some form of sexual violation, and all of those sexual violations were at the hands of Black males. when you have that, ladies, and I know, I'm going to go just a little bit on the dark side for y'all and talk a little bit about the occult, right? Because y'all know I'm a dark wisdom woman. And I know some of y'all, especially those who are into conspiracy theorists and all that kind of satanic, everybody talk about the satanic stuff and the Illuminati and all this stuff. Well, I will say this. There is something called ritual rape. And ritual rape is a ritual where rape is involved, and it is used to do all kinds of things, to cast spells, to do all of these different things. And ritual rape is used by different factions and stuff in society. And I'm not saying anything that people can't find on the internet. I'm not divulging any big secrets. But I will say this. With a 60 to 70% rape or attempted rape, molestation, or incest rate in the Black community, and that's just for the girls. I don't even know what it is for the boys. You have to ask yourself, are Black women, Black girls, before they're able to come to womanhood, to be able to have sound mind and body and sound and healthy womb, to make good choices, to choose right, to birth children by the right man, if they are being ritually raped within the Black community, before they're even old enough to know what womanhood is, to know what vetting is, to know what choosing better is, to know what sex is, to know what babies are. You got men sticking their hands in the diapers of 1 and 2-year-old baby girls, okay? And these are men that are Black men. These are not white men. I don't want to hear nothing about the white man and how he raped my great-great-great-great-grandmother when I can read stories right now about Black men who have raped babies. Right. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and I got women in my inbox right now, and women that I coach and women I deal with who will reveal to me how they were raped and molested by their brother and their mother's brother and their uncles and their fathers and their stepfathers and their mother's boyfriends and the boy across the street and the babysitter. So when you want to talk about Black womanhood and the choices we make and how we choose wrong, we birthing these criminals and you a bastard baby maker, nobody wants to look into some of this other stuff. And let me tell you something. If you understand the history of the Catholic Church, you will understand the use of ritual rape and how it was used to establish the Catholic Church way back when, which is why you see so much pedophilia and pederasty in the Catholic Church now. This is not a new thing. It is part of the history of the Catholic Church. That's going into a whole other thing, but it is what it is. They use ritual rape as part of the initiation into the faith. So if that can be said about the Catholic Church, and it can be said about the so-called Satanists, and it can be said about the damn Illuminati, then why the fuck can't it be said about the Black community? When you got all of these Black girls, and in some cases Black boys, who are being ritually raped and violated sexually before they have the ability to consent by people in their families, males, and sometimes even females, but people in their families who are supposed to trust and love them and protect them and shield them and insulate them from the harshness of racism and the harshness of sexism and the harshness of the world, the external and foreign enemies of the race, of Black people. And the very people who are supposed to be on the front line are the ones who are violating the babies. Then who the fuck are you to come around later and talk about what those babies do when they grow the fuck up? Who the fuck do you think you are? And then how do you then complain when your women are hardened and are aggressive and are fighting and mannish and they won't cry, but they'll fight. And they're ratchet and they're wretched when you contributed to their state like that. And so when we're talking about this concept of Black girl tears, right? Mm-hmm. And you got a race of people who have accepted this fucking degeneracy, this evil, this fucking demon shit in the Black community, and everybody acts like the shit don't exist. Mm-hmm. And it's normalized to the point where the women and the girls have gotten to the point where they have shut themselves off from their own femininity and their own vulnerability, and they won't cry. Then when a woman like Crystal, and this is part of the reason why they hate you too, Chris, right? Because you are in a safe space that has been provided for you by the white patriarch, you can then become back to your fullness as a woman and as a girl, the girly part of yourself. which is not allowed under the black so-called patriarch, but which flourishes under the white patriarch. So part of the reason why both black men and black women hate you is because you represent what it looks like when a black woman is free and when she's no longer under that rape spirit, that take advantage spirit, that manipulation spirit, that spirit of, oh, I see. So the black white man does me dirty. So let me see, who can I do dirty to? Oh, this little girl right here. Oh, I see, the white man denies me my manhood. So who will I strip of their femininity? Oh, this little girl right here. And so you represent a woman who has gotten away from that. And you got away from that in the patriarchy of another man. Now listen, this is no way, by no means saying that white men don't rape their own children. Listen, don't even start with that bullshit. Y'all always trying to deflect. And once again, listen, ladies, if you hear one person say, well, the white man does it too, then that goes back to what we said about them worshiping white men, because they can't accept anything without it being compared to the white man. Exactly. But with a 60% rape and attempted rape, that's the majority of black women. That's a ritual. When you start looking at numbers like that, that's more than just individual. That's some ritualistic shit. And when you see that, and then what they do is they're severing black women from their womanhood, from their womb, from their sense of safety, this ownership of their bodies at an early age, which makes them easy to manipulate, which makes them easy to abuse and neglect, which makes them easy to take advantage of as they get older. And then when that happens, they turn around and blame the same very girl and say, you should have chose better. Right. It's a fucking setup.
You have in the same women who were victimized will go around and be handmaidens to
they're the first ones.
Victimize us.
They're the first ones. And this is why, let me tell you something also, and I got a piece that I'm thinking about writing about this. Ladies, pay attention. The women who are the biggest handmaidens of the pimpards are always the most abused ones. They almost always, 97% of them have some form of rape or molestation or sexual violation in their past. And they'll tell you on their platforms in their videos that they were raped, that they were this, and that they've been abused. They usually are always single mothers of multiple children by multiple men. They're usually in some poverty state. They're struggling, but they're the first ones on YouTube, the first ones on Facebook, the first ones on Twitter, rallying for the black race. They're the most racially so-called conscious black woman there is. Why? Because they endured ritual rape. Because what it does, it severs the person's link to themselves. This is why they did it in the Catholic Church. This is why they did it in the Roman times. This is why they do it in the quiverful movements. This is why they do it with child brides in third world countries. It's all the same energy. Steal a woman's autonomy before she becomes a woman.
Right.
And then when she grows up, she will always be loyal to her violator. Right. She will always be. And that is why those women who have been sexually violated, molested, those are always the biggest race women. And I can guarantee you, all of these chicks, the handmaidens of the pimpards that sit on YouTube coming for women like me, quiet as kept, I can guarantee you that 95% of them have some experience of rape, molestation, some kind of sexual violation at the hands of a black man. And that is why they're so loyal. It's a weird way of doing it. It's like this, it causes us cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, that's what it does. And that's what it's designed to do.
Exactly. And here, let's just talk about vetting for a second, because what we saw when I had, when I cried, and, the reasons why, everybody who follows me knew what those reasons were, but then they saw the result of the mocking and the bullying and the relentless, name calling and that sort of thing. That's an example. If in your own life, you have somebody in your life who you can't be vulnerable in front of, and they're sitting there calling you family, they're calling you skin folk, they're saying we in this together, but you can't be vulnerable in front of them, that person does not have any place in your life. I mean, I don't care who it is, you love them from afar. Anybody, this is twisted. Understand this, ladies, understand. I know that we've got young people in this board, we've got older women who are older than us. Don't let them take your femininity away. You have every right to feel all the feels that you're feeling. And if you are in a situation where you are feeling shamed, you're feeling mocked because you can't be the fullness of your womanhood, then you need to reevaluate who is in your circle of support. You need to reevaluate and realign so that you can have that safe place. I mean, that's really what it's going to have to be. You are going to have, since it's not created for us through the patriarchy that is, black male protection, it does not exist. You are going to have to find it and forge it. And it's possible. It is possible, but you're going to have to stop it. Like the way Breukelen says, stop it. Stop trying to get the approval of people who keep moving the target. They keep moving the target. You were never meant to win.
No, you are not meant to win. And I wish we would understand that. You're not meant to win. And I will put this question out, and I want all of you black women, and this is for the black, really for the sisters. Just think about this in your own, just take a minute and think about it. You don't necessarily have to post about it, but I just want you to take this away and ask yourself, ladies, where is the safe place in the black community for you to cry? Where? Where has the black community created safe spaces for black girl tears? Where? In our homes? Where? At school? In our relationships? Where's the safe space that the black community has cultivated for black women to cry, to be emotional, to be sad, to be lonely, to be fearful, to feel abandoned, to feel rejected? What are we always told? Y'all need to get some self-respect about yourself.
Right. I mean, and it's what I don't understand. They say you need to love yourself. How can you love yourself when everybody hates you?
Because we're superhuman. On one hand, listen.
You're supposed to magically love yourself when everybody's telling you ain't shit. I don't understand that.
Because this is what I'm saying. Is you got two realities existing at the same time, and the black community expect there to be no incongruence. And you trying to navigate these two existences. But of course, this is where the mental illness comes from. On one hand, we're subhuman, that not even a face without even a dog can love. And then the next breath, we're superhuman, who's supposed to be unaffected by anything. And we don't need what other women and other girls need to feel good about ourselves and to feel beautiful. And we don't need to be watered. We're the only flower that's supposed to grow up through the concrete, never receive any sunlight, and never receive any water, and is still expected to bloom.
Exactly.
And then people wonder why we're angry.
Exactly.
People wonder why we're hard and we're mannish. And I put that in quotes because that's relative. But why we're so aggressive and why we're not yielding, we're not submitting. Would you submit to a race of people that make you feel like that? Would you submit to a race of men that make you feel like that elevate the daughter of the same man that he tells you're supposed to hate? But he elevates that man's daughter over your image, and then he wonders why you're not smiling when you walk down Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Why you're not happy when Marcus Garvey Avenue? Why don't you smile, sister? Nigga, why you think I'm not smiling? I just passed by 4 motherfuckers who said the most vulgar, inappropriate, disrespectful shit to me 3 steps down. Why don't you go talk to them niggas and ask them why I'm not smiling? Maybe it's because they had the most rancid, disrespectful shit to say to me as I walk past them on the goddamn street. You know why the fuck I'm not smiling. And this is the Jedi mind trick, ladies. Everybody wants to pretend that they don't know why black women ain't happy.
Right.
Oh, well, you just need to accept responsibility for the choices that you made.
Right.
You give me a list. It's almost like somebody giving you a tree that's rotten.
Yes.
And it's eaten out. That's barely producing any fruit, and the fruit that it's producing is infected and got worms and shit, and then it says, now go choose the right fruit. And when you choose whatever's there, well, you should have chose better. Well, where's the good tree at? What the fuck shit did you just give me to choose from? Listen, ladies, listen. This is why it's so important for the light and the dark to come together and do this work. And Crystal, once again, I have to thank you, and I have to honor you for creating this space for us to do this. And I have to honor you for being willing to share this rather public life lesson with everyone and taking the hits so that these other chicks don't have to. And allowing people to come for your children. And y'all know, black women, those of you who have babies, you know how you feel? Listen to this. You know how you feel when your daughter or your son comes home from school and says that some other little kid picked on them? or they said that the teacher was mean to them. You know how you feel when you want to go up to the school and beat a bitch's ass? You want to go up and tear that little white teacher's ass up because you felt like she was being disrespectful or not gentle enough with your baby? That's what Crystalline does every day when she has to come on YouTube or on social media or come somewhere or her inbox opens up and there's a meme with her child's face on it or with her husband's face on it calling him a white supremacist. How many of y'all would be willing to do that for the black race, for the black woman? How many of y'all will be willing to endure those kind of hits to help other black women? Most of you will not. Most of you can't even remain loyal to a bitch on Facebook, much less be willing to risk your children and yourself. So I think y'all need to calm the hell down, cut a sister some slack, and understand that nobody is perfect, including Crystalline, including Breukelen, and that even those of us who kind of step forward to lead the way are still on our own journeys. We make mistakes. There's miscommunications. We're dealing with our own past hurts and pains and shames and insecurities, and that we're human beings. Don't do what the rest of the black community does, which is other us, and insist that we are supposed to be some kind of superwoman, that we're not supposed to have any frailties, that we're not supposed to have any feelings, that we're not supposed to have any pains, and that we're just supposed to always show up, be strong. And listen, there's a difference between power and strength. There is a difference between power and strength.
Yes, there is. Absolutely.
And I just really need for us, and I understand some of the things that have been said and some of the concerns that have been expressed about you over the years. Like I said, I've had a few of them myself. You and I have talked about them. Yeah. But once you explained to me what was going on in this experience that you had, and the other thing that I wanted to mention, I'll say this for you, Crystalline, to show you how things remain real for us, right? Show you how things remain real for us. What Crystalline did not tell y'all is that in the middle of all of this that was going on in the past couple of weeks with this craziness, a mutual friend of hers is friends with the girl from high school that put the rumor out that she was a whore and caused all of this commotion and created this feeling of sexual shame that she has still been dealing with secretly all of these years. And they put a meme that was created of Crystalline crying, that people took a still shot from the video where she was coming, she was upset about what happened with the white boy. Someone created a meme, they took a screenshot of it and put a meme on it. And it ended up on the page of the very girl who did this unsisterly act to Crystalline. And so in the middle of all of this, and being triggered by all of these accusations and all of this stuff that she's dealing with, she had to go and see that girl make some little snide remark. The girl from high school that did her dirty, who got it to 20 years later, delight once again in Crystalline's public humiliation. And so some of that going back and making more videos and trying to explain herself was that she was feeling triggered, y'all, because she was embarrassed, and it took her right back to that feeling when she was 15 years old. Now, Crystalline, how old are you?
43.
So you almost 45 years old. So you're talking about 3 decades, okay? And that hurt is still with you. And to see that girl, think about you in high school, the girl that you hated, your nemesis, the one that teased you, that made you feel like shit, the one that stole your boyfriend or accused you of stealing their boyfriend, that fought you just because you was cute, because you was pretty, because you was light-skinned, because you was dark-skinned, because you had long hair, because you didn't have no hair. And here you are 30 years later, and then you get to see this girl see you in yet another compromised position, and she tags other Facebook friends from high school, and they all have a good laugh at your expense 3 decades later. Yes, we would all love to be able to say, girl, you should be over that by now. Girl, please, that was high school. You a grown woman. We would all love to be able to say that. Right. But the truth is, we are human, just like anybody else. And in the middle, you are already in a weakened, compromised state emotionally. And then to have that insult added to injury, and it triggered you even further.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, some of the stuff that you see us do when we make these mistakes, those of us who are leaders and way showers, some of the mistakes that you see us make, maybe we don't make the best calls, we have an indiscretion, we may be emotional, we may do something that's kind of questionable. It's not, don't always be so quick to assume it's because of some malintent, or because we are just some shyster. Some of it is we're being human. There are things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about that are really none of your fucking business. Okay? There are things going on, and just like you got shit that you would never want exposed on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere, we have those things too. And just because we are human and we have those things doesn't make us any less worthy or qualified to do the work we do.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And what we talk about is we're not coming from a position of superiority. We have fallen. We have we have been down. And like what you said, Brooke, we are on the rise. Right. This is what we're doing. And so honestly, the heart that we have for wanting to see Black women make the right choices, that's the motivation. Honestly, that is the motivation. There's an old saying, my parents are from the country, when you know better, you do better. And so we know better, we want you to do better. And so I'm just gonna say this one more time because I'm gonna close out. Make sure that you have a safe place where you can be the fullness of who you are as a woman. Anybody that you're around that will not let you feel all the feels and let you experience all of the things that make you a woman, to where you are covering it up with food or with anger or with gossiping or just some other outlet because you can't cry. It is time to reevaluate your circle of support. And you are going to have to forge that because it's not organic in the Black community. It's not. So you are going to have to create that within yourself, and that's going to look different for everybody. But you have to allow yourself to be safe, and so that you can experience the fullness of what you're going to be, so that your beauty can come through. What's going to happen when you feel safe and you feel feminine? All of a sudden, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't need that third Twinkie. You know,
or that third baby.
Right. I don't need that third baby. I don't need to fight this chick in the streets. I'm feeling good. I'm at peace. And that's what that's what both of us are trying to do. We have different ways that we go about it, but it really comes to about to the same destination. And I'm so glad that you guys are here. We have made another record, you guys. We are at 520 watching now, and I want you to say Breukelen has a lot of expertise. I have a lot to bring to the table as well. Like I said, we see people all the time on YouTube raising money for this and for that, for this bootleg film, for this thing, for that thing. But somebody needs a new pair of shoes, folks putting stuff in a tip jar, and here we are. We are one of the lone voices. In fact, there is no other voice on YouTube that is like us. Nobody else exists on YouTube like us. And I'm asking you, because, Breukelen is here as a guest. I'm asking you, support her, support what she does, help support us, help support me, so that I can continue to do what I need to do, so that we can expand this and make this. We have so many plans for you guys. I'm so excited. I wish I could tell you all of it. You guys on here right now, there's 525 of you right now, because what we're saying is resonating. This is just the tip of it. We have so many plans of what we want to do, but it's going to take, you can't build from vapor. You can't build from air. So we're asking again, if you find it in your heart to help us, we do have the PayPal links in there, and we appreciate it. Even if it was, there's 525 people in here. If everybody gave $1 to me and to Breukelen, I'd be happy. I would say thank you. There are people who have already given. I've seen somebody in my email who's given $1, somebody who gave $2, and then I saw somebody who gave $50 and $20 and $10. And so I thank you so much, because every little bit counts. We really appreciate it. Hope you do the same. Again, Breukelen, what do we have planned that you want to tell everybody? We don't want to tell it all, but what do you want to tell them right now?
Okay, so what Chris and I have thought to do, what we've decided that we're going to do, ladies, because I think it's really important for us to attack these issues from a multi-pronged way, from both the light side, the dark side. And y'all can see that there's value in both, right? So, I've been helping Crystal and kind of put a dark charcoal gray ring around her fluffy white cloud, so that she has some self-protection, so that she is the first line of defense for herself, and can make sure that she just doesn't leave herself open for harm and attack. And Chrislyn, back to me, has reinforced to me why it's okay to be soft, and why it's okay, and we need the spaces for ourselves to be in receptive mode, to be taken care of, to be provided for, to be protected. And so y'all can see that this is what we need as Black women. It's not an either or, it is a both thing. And so what I have suggested, and Chrislyn and I have suggested, and we've been talking about it for the past couple of months, and after this whole ridiculosity, which turned out to actually be a really good thing in the end, yes. Y'all see it's a good thing. We've realized that we want to have a coming together in a safe space behind closed doors, where we can really go into these topics, and I can say the things that I can never say on a public venue. Crystalline can say the things that she won't say on a public venue, because some information, ladies, is just for us. Yes. Some things are for us. Some things are for us to know, for us to talk about. And so we want to come together and talk about the light and dark feminine, the mystique of the light and dark feminine, and the ways in which you can tap into both energies, both powers, because you have both within yourself. You have the vixen and you have the maiden, both within yourself, and how you can use both of those, not just to get a man or a husband. It's about so much more than that. It's about walking in your fullness and blending your womanhood and your femininity to create a robust womanity. And in that, you stand in your power. You walk away from being a strong Black woman, and you enter being a powerful Black woman. And so we're going to come together in a couple of weeks in a private venture that is for Black women only, and it's going to be held on my platform, ladies. And those of you who have been a part of my ventures before know that I have a vetting process, a screening process. You're not going to just roll up in my shit. It is for Black women only. And listen, the dudes that are in support of us, whether you're Black, you're white, doesn't matter. If you are in support of us, if you're in support of Crystal, and even if you're not even in support of me, it's cool. I understand why men wouldn't necessarily be in support of your girl, Breukelen Bleu. I'm kind of hard on the men folk. But if you are in support of Crystal, and if you're in support of her as a Black woman, you're in support of her support of Black women, then I have to ask you to recognize that there are times when the women need to be amongst ourselves. And we need to talk amongst ourselves. Yes. And we need to be able to say things. We need to share things. We need to heal ourselves without you guys around. Just like y'all need your time alone from us. Yep. You need your man cave. You need right. We need girl time. We need woman time. And don't feel threatened by women coming together and whispering womanly things to each other that you cannot hear. There are times when women need to come together amongst ourselves so that we can heal and be better women when we come back out to be your mates, your partners, the mothers of your children, your mothers, right? We have to be better women, and we can't always be, just like y'all can't always become better men with us sitting there looking at you, critiquing everything you say, putting out looking at everything through a feminine lens, putting out judgments on it. We're the same way. And so sometimes we need to go in the closet and close the door. Absolutely. Throw our little blanket over our head, put our little flashlight on like you did when you were a little kid, and have a little girl powwow where we sit and we talk amongst each other about how we can become better women. So don't get your knickers all in a bunch when the women start talking about going behind closed doors. We need to do that just like y'all need to. So the best way you can support us is to be willing to allow us to do that. And so I want to thank you, Crystalline, for hosting me once again. This was a very great discussion. I want to thank you for taking my advice, heeding my counsel as a dark wisdom woman, and just coming clean and sharing with your audience, sharing with other Black women some of what you've been secretly feeling and secretly trying to manage, and why, how it affected you, and how it may have affected some of the way you came off to people, some of the choices that you made. And it's not that you were being shysty, that you were being, just a mean woman or a sneaky woman. It was that you were dealing with some stuff and you were trying to compensate. And I thank you and honor you for being willing to share that and being vulnerable and being in this safe space for Black Girl Tears so that the rest of us can benefit. And I also want to thank Angel. I know Angel was myths, right? And Angel,
he has his feelings hurt. He does.
And listen, it's a precarious situation. I just want to say this for a second before I exit. It's a precarious situation for me as a Black woman doing the work I do because I recognize that there are Black men who are like Angel. I know Black men who are like Angel.
Yeah.
And so for me to have to kind of make these generalized statements can be very hurtful to brothers like that. And I will say brothers for those men because they are brothers to Black women. Mm-hmm. Y'all have to understand. And once again, I'm going to ask you just to step outside of yourself. And I know it's hurtful. But just for a minute, look at it from my point of view and for Black women's point of view. Black women, our efforts to try to save you is destroying us all.
Yes.
We are becoming maniacs. We're creating monsters out of our sons. We're just creating a mess. And so I have to draw a line in the sand to tell Black women to cut off the addiction.
Yes.
And then, like we said, the elimination diet. And then once you come off of the addiction, of the dysfunction of the Black community, Blackistan, the Black male, the crazy expectations, once you've healed yourself of all the sexual abuse and all of this other crazy stuff that goes on and the ways in which you've been violated as a Black woman, once you've done that and you've gotten to a place of autonomy and sovereignty in your life, if you then want to open a small area of your world to individual select Black males who you have vetted and have shown themselves approved, then you can do so. But understand, if I lead with that, all Black women are gonna hear is, oh, she said there's still some good Black men out here. And they're gonna go right back to Shoes and Pookie and Ray Day.
Binary thinking.
It's right. So I have to draw a line in the sand to get Black women off the drug. That's why you gotta stop cold turkey. And then if you so choose, listen, here's the truth. Some, when they get off the drug, they're not gonna want to try to introduce it and see if they can go back and have one drink, but not 10. Some are gonna say, I'm done. It's a wrap. I'm not even entertaining Black men no more. And they have that right. Those who still want to leave the room for, to entertain those very select Black men, go ahead. And in behind closed doors, we talk about that. I just don't lead with that message because I know what Black women will do with it. And that defeats the whole purpose. So Angel, from me to you, I'm not trying to expect you to understand, but I want you to know that I understand you. I really do.
And I understand you, Angel.
It's hard to hear me say the things I say when you so desperately and so truthfully really do care about Black people and you really do love Black women. And I understand, and I don't expect you to understand what I'm saying. I just want you to know that I understand you and there are no hard feelings at all. I'm still going to do what I do, and I'm still going to say what I say, and I'm still going to advise what I advise. But I want you to understand that it is not personal to you, and I understand why it's hard for you to accept it, and I respect that.
And I also want to say something too, is that this forum, it's so easy to be anonymous, and when you don't have that accountability of people knowing who you are, you say the craziest, cruelest things. But what you have to understand is that we are people. We are human beings behind this. The stuff that I've been seeing people say about Angel in the comment section, he's a human being. This person has feelings. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. What happened to me, 2 weeks ago. How can we expect to have compassion if we can't show it? I mean, in this situation, you guys are dehumanizing this man, and I'm really kind of ashamed of the comment section right now because I thought we would be elevated more than that. But I do understand that some of us are in pain and we're going through our own journeys. I also understand that people are just, instigators and shit starters and they just in there because of whatever reason. But we're human beings. We have feelings, and just think about that before you write whatever the next horrible ratchet thing that you're gonna say because you can get away with it because nobody knows you are, or you think nobody knows who you are. But I would say this right now. Some of y'all think nobody knows who you are. But I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who are listening, I know who some of y'all are. So you just keep at it. We're just going to keep it at that. Now, just really quick, people have been saying that they're having a hard time getting to your PayPal. So I want to just say quickly, if you guys want to send Breukelen Bleu some support money, go to paypal.com. And then when it says send money, like send money to friends and family, click on that. And then it'll say, who do you want to send money to? Just copy and paste her email, which is one-sidedloyaltiesforsuckers@gmail, which is in the info box, and just send your money that way. It's really just that simple. Go to paypal.com, go to send money, friends and family, put in the email address, as much as, whatever you feel like giving for support, and that's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, it's really simple. I mean, that's how, if I don't have a direct link for something and people want to donate, that's what I tell them. Just go to PayPal and send it to One-Sided Loyalty. It's for suckers, not suckers, suckers, A-S, at gmail.com. And if you're not sure, you can hit me up. My email is blackwomanThinkTank.2@gmail.com. That's blackwomanThinkTank.2@gmail.com, and tell me you want to make a donation, and I'll put you on to how to do it. So I appreciate anybody who was able to send anything, anybody who will hit me up later and want to donate. Listen, it's really in the spirit, and as a dark wisdom woman, when you make an offering to an energy, right? When you make an offering, what you'll do is you're honoring that energy, and you're honoring it and thanking it for whatever blessings it has bestowed upon you, and you're feeding it so that it continues to do so. So when you offer, I don't care how small the offering is, if you make an offering, you're a stranger, right? So I know y'all work hard for your money. So if you come up off of some of it and give it to me, a person you do not know, because you feel honored by what I have given you, then you are honoring me and you are encouraging me to do it more. It makes me see tangible value in the work that I do.
Right. So it keeps us going. Exactly. And so I just want to give a shout out to the people who have given money, because my email has been pinging. I got $8 from Damashette. I don't know if I'm spelling your name right. I got KsC sent $10. Brianna sent $5. Nyan sent $20. Blue World 13 sent $5. I mean, these people, like, you guys are in here and you guys are just giving. I mean, I really appreciate that. And it's just that the little things to help support, because honestly, like, we can't exist on sunshine and air. You know what I mean?
Right. No, we have expenses, and we have lives, we have children, and it takes a lot of time and effort and energy to do the work that we do, and a lot of work on ourselves. And I think y'all need to understand that it requires a lot of healing work on ourselves to be healers of other people. You're taking on other people's problems, other people's pains, other people's hurts, other people's fears. This is what you do. And so you need time to refresh yourself, to shore yourself up, to make sure that you don't internalize the people you're the feelings and the problems of the people you're trying to help. And so yeah, it's nice for us to get a little something to let us know that we're appreciated, and that we're not just being made to sacrifice. Because nobody, just like you wouldn't want to offer help to people and never be acknowledged for that, neither do we. Exactly. And y'all know, as a dark woman, I'm not going to be made the sacrifice. I'm not going to be made it. So I really appreciate those who offer of their own goodwill, because what that does is honor me. It honors my divinity, and it honors my humanity. And I'm appreciative of that. So thank you.
You guys, thank you so much. Again, Breukelen, we always do these 3-hour things. I think we're spoiling them, I think.
I know. I know, but listen, but here's the deal. I don't want them to get lulled into the belief that, but they're doing these 3-hour hangouts, so that's what we're going to do behind closed doors is going to, and anybody will tell you. I give a lot away free on YouTube in my videos. I give a lot away free on my page. But when you get with me behind closed doors, you get to see what the real work looks like. And this is where you get the real stuff. You get the real receipts. We bring the receipts. So what we're going to do behind closed doors is bring the receipts. And it's going to be much more than just us talking. We're going to be engaging each other, and we're going to be showing up and providing resources to affect real tangible change in your life. And so when we announce our event in the coming weeks, I hope that you guys will then really show up, put your money where your mouth is, invest, and come see what goodies we have for y'all behind closed door as we delve into the naughty and nice of Black womanhood. Because you got to be a little naughty and you got to be a little nice.
Yeah, it's got to be a balance, a yin and a yang. The whole entire universe is based on polarity, positive and negative. I mean, this is how the universe works. Everything from the tiniest atom, ion, is based on that polarity. And so you have to apply that. And I gotta say, I've gone through a lot of conventions, I've gone through a lot of talks, and I can't stand people who just talk in generalities and pie in the sky, you know, hoo-ha, you know, stuff like that. This is not the kind of thing that we're planning. These are nuts and bolts. This is going to be step 1, step 2, step 3. So you want to make sure that you're in on it, because right now we do have a little bit specifics, but we go really deep. We're about to go real deep right now.
Right.
All right, guys.
I just want to acknowledge before I get off, I guess y'all are able to get through now. And I want to thank some of y'all. I see you got $5 from Samira. I got $15 from Aiken Arts. I got $5 from Robin Mackey. $2 from Candace Owens, $2 for Wild Child Music. Thank you for honoring me and offering tributes to the representative of the Dark Goddess. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate that.
And don't forget, you guys, to subscribe to Breukelen Blue's channel. It is what one-sided loyalties for suckers. Is that what it's?
No, my actual Facebook. YouTube channel is Breukelen Bleu. You talking about my YouTube
Breukelen Bleu. Yeah,
right.
Spelled the old way. And I'm just going to put it in the chat room so people know. For the longest time, I was like, my mind will not remember how to spell this because it's such a different thing. But once now I know it. There it is right there. And don't forget to sign up and support, share, subscribe to my channel. The only way that we're going to drown out all the negativity is through you. It's going to be you sharing with other people, saying you need to check this out and support this and support us in any support will help drown out the din, because we're here for you. We know that you're here for us, and I want to thank you guys for being very, very supportive of me on a very sensitive issue that went on in my life. You guys have shown me so much love and empathy and caring, and I'm going to not say anything else because I'll probably cry some more. But
I want to say this, ladies. I just want to also say that I'm working with Crystalline. This has been a really big life lesson for her. And while she's still a light feminine and she's girly and she's going to always promote the light side of femininity, I want y'all to understand that Crystalline has learned some major lessons from this. Yes. And there will be some changes. There's a new sheriff in town. Starting with there's going to be no more directly addressing, trying to appease, trying to prove, trying to disprove, trying to do anything with haters. So y'all can listen, y'all can make 10,000 videos coming from Crystalline. See, I'm not gonna allow Crystalline to do that. I'm not going to allow her to continue to allow people to feed off of her. So all of you, one of your issues have been with her that she spent what you felt like was too much time addressing haters and not addressing Black women. Well, she's got a little charcoal gray ring around her light, fluffy cloud now, because Breukelen Bleu then gave her some dark wisdom. And from this point on, she's going to be directly addressing the Black female gaze. Not the Black male, not the Black handmaiden, and not even the white male. The Black female gaze is who she's going to be addressing, and everything that she does from this point on is going to be addressing y'all directly. Fuck the haters. Fuck the handmaidens. No more trying to prove yourself. Listen, absolutely. You don't have to feel shame, ladies. And this is for you, Crystalline. This is for y'all listening, and this is for myself. Black women, we no longer have to bear the burden of sexual shame. We don't have to feel the burden of poverty and social economics. We don't have to feel the shame of out of wedlock motherhood. We don't have to feel the shame of rejection for a Black man. Listen, it's a new day. It's 2016. A change is coming. There is a change in regime. Do y'all feel this change in regime happening? Because it's happening. And so Crystalline is no longer going to address haters. Not in her message, not in her videos. She's not going to address them. She's not going to be trying to prove herself anymore. You take her or you leave her. If you believe what her detractors say, then go follow those bum niggas and those looking ass bitches and leave her the fuck alone. But don't be inboxing her, asking her to defend herself. And sure as hell don't be inboxing me, because we're not going to do that. Our focus is on those Black women who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and everybody else is a non-motherfucking factor. How you like that? That's a Breukelen Bleu dark note to end on, right?
That's right.
That's how we're doing it, y'all.
So I think we're gonna have to end with from Bed-Stuy, do or die, but we're not gonna die, ladies. We're gonna
all right, y'all. All right, this is your girl Breukelen Bleu signing out from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, New York. Bed-Stuy, do or die. But we're not going to die, ladies, and we're not going to feel shame, and we're not going to turn on each other, and we're not going to be handmaidens of the pimp arc, and we're not going to suck pimp arky balls, and we're not going to cater to them and address them, and we're going to be both light and dark, and we're going to be feminine and woman, and have womanity, and we're going to have robust womanity, which is both light and dark, which is both angel and devil.
That's right.
And we are going to live and live. What, Crystalline?
Well,
baby girl. Well, that's right. I'm out, y'all.
All right. We had some church up in here, you guys. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for breaking another record. Over 550 people at the peak. Yes, Lord. Love you guys. Bye.